Datta, Scientist G, and Head of Science for Equity, Empowerment and Development, Seed Division, and State Science and Technology Program, SSTP Division, DST, Government of India. Dr. Devapriya, contribution towards science and technology in India and abroad is commendable. Thank you, sir, for sparing your valuable time to be part of this program. I would like also to welcome Dr. Joram Beda, IS, Secretary to the Government of Meghalaya, looking after planning. Dr. Beda had served in different states, Punjab and Arunachal, as an able administrator. We are very fortunate to have you to lead and guide us, sir, as a council to fulfill its mission. I also welcome one of our own, Sri A.S. Singh, Officer on Special Duty, SCSTA, who is also looking after a Bioresource Development Center and Meghalaya Basin Development Authority. I would like to say that this council has grown in its diverse activities and programs. It is through its untiring effort and immense experience we have become like this. Thank you, sir, for being with us at this moment. I also take this privilege to welcome all the speakers who were our partners in the initiative to spread the scientific temper and also ensure utilization of science and technology for all-round development of the state. Dr. Abhinav Khan, Project Coordinator, Northeast Center for Technology, Application and Reach, that is NECTA. Also, we have Dr. Pensngan Marwen, ARO, Tribal Research Institute, Meghalaya, Ms. Leshi Kashina, Project Associate of National Innovation Foundation, India. We also have among us Ms. Grisha Idhar, a Lead Associate, Northeast Slow Food and Agro Biodiversity Society, that is NESFAS, in short. Shri Care Home Pakanteng, well-known traditional healers of the state. I welcome all the participants in this webinar also, and all the officials of the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and also all the participants who are here on the screen are Dr. B.K. Rai, Dr. S.K. Pandey, and Dina Chandra Singh, Ravi Kang, Dr. Srivastava, and many others. We would like to welcome you, sir, to this webinar, and I believe that the sharing of experiences will enrich and motivate one and all, especially the participants, to contribute toward the advancement of indigenous technologies in the state. Once again, I would like to welcome each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you for the welcome address. And moving forward with the program, I kindly request Dr. Devapriya Datta, the head and scientist. Oh, I'm sorry. I would like to call upon our Secretary to the Government of Meghalaya, Planning Department, Dr. Joram Beda, to kindly address the online webinar. Sir.
Respected Dr. Vipin Kumar, Director, National Innovation Foundation, Dr. Devapriya Datta, Head Scientist of Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, Seed Division, Dr. Abhinav Khan, Project Director, NECTA, Tripura, and all the luminaries from the scientific community and other participants. A very good morning to all of you. It's a great privilege for me to be here amongst the scientific community to celebrate the year-long program initiated by Seed Division Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, entitled VigyanUtsav as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. I, on behalf of Government of Meghalaya, would like to profoundly thank the Department of Science and Technology for giving me this opportunity to address the online webinar on the theme Indigenous Technologies of the State. Meghalaya being a ST majority state, the theme for the month of December is very, very relevant to the state. As you all are aware, with time, sustainable development and climate change concerns have become the cornerstone for all developmental agenda and policy formulation. And while the scientific community all around the world, they're looking for solutions in complicated theories and machines, I'd like to draw your attention to the simple principle of Occam's razor. That is, simplest is the best. And what could be more simpler than the tribal way of life? The concept of man, nature, spirit is fundamental to the tribal belief system. In nature conservation. Oh my God, what happened? The host, who's the host? Return to host. This is Google Meet.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What's the code? Who was the host, by the way? Were we the host?
We are the host.
Oh, then I think some network error.
We have if any line also does not work.
Yeah, I know.
We have both Geo, still BSNL.
Yeah, we had some technical glitch.
Are we back online?
Yeah, we are back on.
Sorry for the inconvenience. We had a technical
Yes.
problem. Talking about technologies, the network here is really not good. So apologies for that. So I was saying that I would like to draw your attention to the Occam's razor, that is to keep it simple. And when we are exploring so many solutions to the issues of sustainable development and climate change concerns, we have to, instead of looking for more complicated solutions, we should go for easier ones. And what best would it be than to draw this inspiration from the tribal way of life? You know, in the Northeast, many of these tribes have a concept of sacred forest, and the tribes and these sacred forests belong to the tribes and the clans, and the tribal population here, the tribal communities here, they protect these forests religiously. And it is time that the scientific community explore and find inspiration from tribal culture and knowledge base that has evolved over the years in harmony with nature. Case in point is our world famous living roots bridges found across Meghalaya. You must have seen this in many of these social media, on the websites, about double-decker revive living root bridge and the double-decker non-create living bridge. So these are examples of sustainable community infrastructure solution which has been practiced here over ages. In terms of infrastructure, we have the Jamuk, the Garo tribe. It's a very innovative traditional way of storing harvest, such as rice millets, potato, etc. These structures are built just with bamboo and straw, and some of them have survived over centuries. And these are these need to be studied. These are pest-proof, and also then we also have the traditional houses of basic tribe. These are made entirely of bamboo, and I can tell you that some of them have existed for over a century, and they've been able to withstand great earthquakes and the vagaries of nature and things like that. Then we have something called Mayam lock. It is a very unique system of traditional lock in Meghalaya. But sadly, we have very few locksmiths surviving presently. But then we need to explore these technology also and document it and see what's so great about it. Then we have an age-old traditional system of medicine. When I went through the concept, I could see that there is a rich database of medicinal information that needs to be studied, and in future we need to put in efforts to identify and isolate the active ingredients from these traditional medicines. In fact, the Science and Technology Cell of Planning Department, we are working towards documentation and also streamlining and modernizing the traditional medicinal system on the lines of Kerala Ayurveda, and we would someday be packaging it as a tourism product. These are just a few examples of how the indigenous technology has been in place in Meghalaya for ages, and it's time that the world, instead of looking for complicated solutions, we should look for solutions in the simplest of ways, and what best could be the tribal way of life. I reiterate that once again. Having said so, I'll conclude my speech here, and I once again thank the Department of Science and Technology for giving me this opportunity to speak here in this August platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the short, yes, yet enlightening speech. Moving on with the program, I kindly request Dr. Devipriya Datta, who is the head and scientist of the Seed Division, Department of Science, Technology and Environment, to kindly give the opening remarks. Sir?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good morning to all of you, and especially I thank...
Sir, you're not audible, sir.
Am I not audible? Because my microphone is on. My microphone.
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
You are audible, sir.
Hello, can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Because my microphone is on, I can hear it. Okay. So, thank. First of all, good evening, and thank you all. Especially, I thank Dr. Beda for really the putting the context before us for the month to come. And second of all, I thank not only the Meghalaya SNT Councils, Dr. Suting in particular, and his the colleagues, but all the colleagues from state SNT Councils. This is the 4th month of the VigyanUtsav. When we started about 3 months ago, we never thought that whether we'll be able to really continue. We have continued for 3 months, around, as given by input given by my colleagues, around 2 lakhs people in this these 3 months have watched and been involved in this VigyanUtsav. So these months, why we have chosen the indigenous technologies as a theme, because if you see, this is not a theme. This is one component of the science, technology and innovation ecosystem in a state for Atmanirbhar Bharat. That is the focus we kept it in the VigyanUtsav. Our Honorable Prime Minister, when he given his dream of the Atmanirbhar Bharat, I think the indigenous technologies are the enabler of the vocal for the local. Already Dr. Beda has told. Now, if we look at it into the technology developmental history in India itself, we had very long ago that we have our own way of technology which came out of the livelihood systems requirement. And as a result, that as already Dr. Beda was talking about, that each tribal community for their sustenance has a technology. In the meantime, as an outfall of the European, the industrial revolutions, a so-called technological revolution take place, and as an expansions of the the market, some part of those technologies came to a populous nations like us, which was outside of our livelihood system. Many of them have been demonstrated. We do these development demonstrations, but they have to be aligned to our livelihood systems. And in this context, the indigenous technologies play a big role. And when you say the indigenous technology, it is a two-way process. One way, India has developed its own satellite system that is also indigenous technologies. If you see that when the whole world ostracized India for its nuclear, the experiment in the end of 90s, India came out with its own indigenous technologies. That is one indigenous technologies at a national level. On the other hand, if you see, in case of this, the recent COVID situation, many of the places where the so-called the traditional vaccine couldn't reach, people boosted up the immunity, even where the vaccination has reached. People are really dependent upon our traditional medicinal systems for developing the immunity. Other than that, we have the National Innovation Foundations, and I'm really thankful that my friend Dr. Vipin Kumar is here. They have done a wonderful job of scouting the technologies from the root, which is rooted within the community itself. Incidentally, Dr. Beda, you are talking about that the root bridge of Meghalaya. Incidentally, yesterday in Kaun Banega Crorepati, that was one of the questions. Where is the root bridge of in which states? So we have to I just believe the sustainable development goal, what has been prescribed by the UN. I see it as in 32,000 feet view. As you fly, you go at a 32,000 feet, and that's the prescriptions of sustainable development. At a national level, as we descend, it is 15,000 feet. But the real sustainable development takes place on the 10 feet on the ground, and where lives the majority of the community. And in that context, what Dr. Beda has told, that the different, the technologies which has emerged from the different cultures needs to be developed with the modern science and technology for improving their efficiency. Because really, if India wants to have an Atmanirbhar, we cannot only depend upon that somebody outside producing in our country and given employment. We must show the world, if you see the world itself, the majority of the world, day before yesterday, I was in one of the UNESCAP's, the meeting where we are talking about that the way out for a low-income country's sustainable business model. And what we are discussing about, that this business cannot only, the business model in this today's world cannot only focus on increasing the, income of the people. So the technology what we develop, it has to be all pervasive to our sustainable, the livelihood system. So the increasing in the, though the whole world has thought that the people's conditions will change by increasing their income itself, but it has been proven now, we have to take a multi-dimensional approach. It should include the nutrition, the health, the education, the access to the water, energy, and we must develop that type of technology nationally, locally, and try to bring it as a part of our livelihood system development. And that will be the ultimate way of the Atmanirbhar Bharat, where the vocal for the local will not be a slogan, but will be the foundation, the stones for Atmanirbhar Bharat. In this context, actually, with my friend Dr. Bipin Kumar, we have started from the Ministry of Science and Technology and Ministry of Earth Science a program called Tech Neve at the rate 75. Actually, Dr. Veda, like we'd be very happy. Yesterday we had the second sessions. It was inaugurated by our Honorable Minister on 15th of November. And here basically, like we are getting the feedback of the community about like what are the technological capability in these 75 years they have developed for their livelihood system. What is their feedback? What is their suggestion? We are having sessions on that. We are having sessions on the social change makers who are taking the science, technology, innovations to the larger community. And then we had a discussions on how to nurture and strengthen the local innovation. And I believe this sessions of this 1 month sessions of this, our traditional, our indigenous technologies are the real foundations of the tech neve, which we want to create within the larger community. The unless and until our larger community have the technology absorption capacity, we cannot just go on, bring technology, demonstrate it, and leave it that you take it or not it. We have to develop the technological capacity, and that's the like at the end of this 1 month, that STI ecosystems, that component, which I believe is the most important component of an Atmanirbharta, needs to be worked out in a common way for the nation and specific way from the different country. Because India is a wonderful country. We speak in a different languages, but we think in one way, and that's our nation, India and Bharat. With this, I really congratulate the S&T Council's network, and with the wish that these indigenous technologies, and we will integrate it with our TechNiv foundations from the TechNiv at the rate 75's finding from the bottom up. We need to mesh this up so that we can have a sustainable development, new model pathway, which we can showcase to the whole world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for highlighting the importance of this month theme of VigyanUtsav celebration. And I hope that this online webinar will benefit and improve the STI ecosystem of the entire country, with a prime focus on the community at the community level. And I hope that this will lead us towards the concept of Atmanirbhar Bharat, paving way through vocal for local. And yes, the program that has been initiated by DST again, TechNiv at the rate 75, has really helped the community in uplifting their livelihood through technology intervention. And the platform that has been provided to the community has really benefited a lot of community across the state and across the nation as a whole. Thank you very much, sir. Continuing with the program, I kindly request Dr. Bipin Kumar, who's the Chief Innovation Officer, as well as the Director, National Innovation Foundation India, to kindly give us the talk on indigenous technologies as enablers for addressing socio-economic challenges. Sir?
Thank you very much, Dr. Veda, Dr. Devapriya, colleagues from different science and technology councils. First of all, good morning to all of you. I'm thankful to Science and Technology Council of Meghalaya for giving me this opportunity to share my views with this august audience. I have a small presentation here, in fact, to share it with you. But most of the things are already covered by Dr. Datta and Dr. Veda, and beautiful examples they have given, the living bridges of Meghalaya. You know, how the communities have, came ahead, not only to address their own problem, but to show the way, to show the path to other communities also, that nobody from outside will come to address our problem. It is we who will solve our problem, ourselves. And we have to bring excellence. Many times when you talk about the grassroots innovations or these, this kind of traditional, knowledges, people always think that, oh, this might be some incremental kind of innovations. No, it is not true. In fact, loads of cutting edge technologies have came out from these kind of knowledge or these kind of innovations. India, as Dr. VigyanUtsav has mentioned that, we are a very creative country. In fact, whenever we had any challenge, we try to address our, problem ourselves. And, there is a very famous quote that there was never a night that could defeat sunrise, nor a problem that could defeat the hope. Definitely, it is true. We have not found any problem, in fact, which are, remain unattended, where the people have not tried to address, at least in India. And I'm so happy to share with you that, at the time of our generation, lots of inertia was there. We started living with the problem. But I'm seeing with the younger generation, they don't want to live with the problem. Rather, they are coming out and giving the solutions, in fact, to the persistent problems. In fact, and lots of lots of initiatives they are taking to address those sort of problems. India, not today, but if you see the analogy, when we identify the need or face some problem, there were some solutions. Whether it is not just addressing our problem, but to entertain us, for the development. And like the Prime Minister is hoping that these indigenous technologies could be the source of sustainability, and definitely a trigger for this Atmanirbhar Bharat. You see that Veena came, in fact. How many people did the experiments, and this is a wonderful instrument they have developed. Rest of the stories you are aware, and these experiments are still continuing. We started documenting this sort of knowledge, and we found that the vast knowledge is there throughout country. There is no part of the country where such knowledge is not there. And we also found that there is a scope of cross cultural activities. There is a scope of taking innovations or these kind of knowledges, traditional knowledges or indigenous knowledges, from one part to another part. The colleagues from Meghalaya are aware that a apple variety developed by a farmer in Himachal, which can be grown in this kind of areas, like in Delhi also it can grow. But in Meghalaya, in Manipur, in many states, this crop is giving fruits. Definitely, the knowledge has no boundaries. In fact, it is not that it would give prosperity to the local areas, but definitely, if it is blended with high quality of science, then definitely this sort of knowledge can give relief, not only relief to large number of people, but a boost to the economy of any nation. How these innovators, in fact, who are these innovators? They're the common people. You see the faces of these people. They are the artisans, they are the farmers, they are the electricians, they are the students. They came from different stream. But what is the uniqueness of these guys? In fact, they don't want to live with the problem. And the first step of any innovation is identification of the problem. Once I identified the problem, then definitely I'll do certain experimentation. Let me give one example, in fact, how the sustainability these sort of innovations bring. There was a problem in Rajasthan, that the sand is there, and when a cart moved on that sand, then definitely because of the flat tires, lots of energy is required to push it ahead. But there was a plane crash in late 60s, in fact, somewhere in Sri Ganganagar. And what people, that it is the habit of the people to go at that site. And they found that the tires of the plane was not flat, in fact. They are like this. So they thought that it would be able to solve our problem, as the touch with the ground will be bare minimum. And today you see that Jamnagar Jagadri of Haryana has become the hub. All the old tiles of aeroplanes are going there, and the farmers are buying, and using in their carts and trolleys and other equipments, and those things are solving the problem. So it has created a new market also. But this technology will remain at the community level until unless a scientific touch is not there. The first thing is the proper documentation, then scientific validation, and then taking it to the masses. Yesterday, Dr. Datta mentioned that we were getting from different communities their challenges, in fact, and how through scientific interventions their life have been changed. And I found that lots of people started doing the documentation. Many people started doing the value addition in their technology, and I found some of the people were having the products in their hand, in fact, and their faces, their eyes were shining, and they had the proud, in fact, that I did the experimentation. I found that I developed this technology and it is going to the market, but there is a further scope, in fact, and where the responsibility of the institutions like us are there, the responsibility of science and technology councils are there to identify those sort of technologies or product which need some better finish, better scientific inputs. Then definitely large number of technology will go from these people. So and how it is possible, in fact, these technologies are not just incremental innovations. These are the real technologies where lots of products can be there in the market. Many technology, after blending the formal science, we have transferred to the companies. Now the people are getting royalties, lots of people got upfront payment out of the commercialization of those technologies. And one more thing we did, in fact, which in every state we should do, that lots of technology business incubators are set up. So we should connect the local innovators with those technology business incubators. Then definitely lots of policing and technology in the market you will see in the future, in fact. Student innovations, you are aware that some small triggers, identification of problems, lots of students are doing. Many technologies which were just the trigger, in fact, they were not the technology, they were in the form of cases. And today you will find that many of them are there on Amazon. Many of them are commercialized by the companies. Definitely the companies also need some good technologies, and it is our responsibility to give them the good technology and recognition and benefit shared to the original innovators. Then it would be a sustainable kind of thing. This example, in fact, I want to give it to you. There is a persistent problem, in fact, throughout country, and and many agriculture universities are saying that they have developed a paddy transplanter, but I have not seen any paddy transplanter working in the field. So we have given this a challenge, and few paddy transplanters we got, in fact, and they were, if you see, you will say that okay, they will not work in the field. But definitely after scientific input, we got the help from IIT Kharagpur, we got the help from many agriculture universities, CIE, and many other institutions, and also the designers and fabricators, to basically come out with a good paddy transplanter. And finally we did it. Can you imagine a company, the world's biggest company, John Deere, has taken the first technology outside their R&D in the world, and they have taken from a common person, a farmer, in fact, but they have taken that technology. When it is scientifically proven, when it is a value-added technology, and the company found that okay, some commercial value of this technology will be there. The innovator, he's from Faridabad, the innovator has got 22 lakh rupees as upfront payment and 2% royalty in the ex-factory price of this technology. Can you imagine, in fact, a company like John Deere taking the technology of a common people? Definitely it is possible, and we have to find such ways, in fact, so that more and more such innovations should reach to the masses, and they can reach only to the masses when it is not less than any product available in the market. See the example of Raju, extracted the dye from the herbs, from the local herbs, and today we incubated this technology, and Raju is giving the employment to approximately 25 young, boys of his villages. You go do the Google. Itiko Pakka is now a famous village, in fact, and this innovator Raju has, got the attention in Mann Ki Baat of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So this can only be possible when it is in the form of a finished product, in fact, and here our responsibility is there. So I was saying that they are not incremental, in fact, they are the cutting edge technology and they are the proven technology, and definitely they are finding ways, in fact, reaching to the market. See, this multi-purpose food processing machine, from Haryana, the innovator was a rickshaw puller. You just do the Google Dharamveer Kamboj, from rickshaw puller to the governing board member of CCS Agriculture University, Chaudhary Chand Singh Agriculture University, which is one of the premier institute, agriculture university in the country. This innovator has become the governing board member of that university, and he's doing the business in crores. In fact, now his daughter, his son, every family member is involved in this technology and provided sustainable employment to more than 1,000 people, in fact. So we need this kind of models. So every technology has to be, there should be a fate of every technology. So what we did, in fact, we launched a portal of indigenous technologies, in fact, so that more and more students, more and more researchers could take these innovations in their research program. And the portal was launched by our former the minister, Dr. Harshvardhan, on 14th January 2021. It is a house of 1.15 lakh grassroots innovations, traditional knowledge practices. So, and AICT has written, the chairman AICT has written to all the colleges to explore the technologies, urge students to explore the technologies from this portal, blend it with the modern science, so that more and more good technologies could come out from the from our traditional knowledge system. We do the recognition to the innovators, and I'm happy to share that now our efforts have reached to the Padma Awards, and every year at least 1 or 2 grassroots innovators are getting place in Padma Awards, and till today more than 12 people have received the Padma Shri, in fact, by the hand of President of India. So it's a recognition, in fact. A Padman movie based on the innovation of Arunachalam Muruganathan, who was incubated by us. The 3 Idiot, lots of innovations were there. Malesham, in Telugu, another movie. So those people started their journey as a common man, in fact. But when it is nurtured by the institutions, and today, they don't need, the introduction. They have become the identity of the nations, and many other, people are following it. So this is from, me, and today, not only in Meghalaya, but in many, states, I found that lots of traditional knowledge practices, lots of innovations are there. And if we take them into the mainstreaming, definitely lots of technologies, lots of cutting edge technology will find the way in the market in future. Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you, Dr. Switch up your mic. Thank you, Dr. Vipin. That was a wonderful presentation. In fact, National Innovation Foundation has been encouraging grassroots level innovators for a pretty long time. And I believe you have a publication called Innovation Intelligence, right? Yeah, I'm very excited to see you here, because back in 1996 or 97, when I used to be a class 7 or 8, your foundation had published my papers also. I had done a little bit of research as a class 8 boy on a very primordial fuel cell system. And subsequently in 2000, around 2000 also, there was another publication by Innovation Intelligence. So it's good to see you here.
Thank you very much.
Very happy. So now I request our officer on special duty, Dr. Shri A.S. Suti, to deliver his speech.
Thank you, sir, for giving us the opportunity to be heard. On behalf of the Meghalaya State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, I'll be talking about the indigenous technologies of Meghalaya. And so, with due respect, if we talk of SDG goals and we talked about climate resilience, coping strategy, I think the mountain people or the tribal people have already done this for generations, and for generations they've been doing this. Whether we look at the living root bridges, or we look at the community reserve forests, or the fish sanctuaries, or the sacred groves. So these are the indigenous technologies, and for this indigenous technology to be replicated, the process of skilling is very, very important. So I would take the presentation. So I'll share with you a brief presentation about our state and our people. We have three indigenous communities: the Khasi, the Jaintias, and the Garos, and we can. So when we talked about indigenous technologies, in the native skills, I would call it rather, we have the mostly it's associated with livelihood, be it in the field of agriculture, be it in the field of health, be it in the field of art and craft skilling, or be it in the field of construction. These are the four verticals of any of the indigenous technologies. And as a state now, we are looking at it to look at these native skills for certification. This is the process that the gaps that we found in the SNT mapping, that the skilling of the youth and the certification of this native skill is very much needed if this is to survive for generations to come.
Presentation is visible.
Is the presentation visible? Yeah. Hello.
Yes, visible. Yes, visible.
Bipinji, is the presentation visible to the audience?
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah.
Okay. Next. So, as I said, the background note about the traditional technologies and the indigenous traditional knowledge, we look at it from the perspective of tools and implements. If you look at there are different tools and implements for agriculture in the three climatic zone that we have, in the three ethnic groups that we have. You will see that the tools, though it's for the Zoom fields that we look at, the dao or the chaff that is used for cutting has got different angles. And if you look at that, whether it's tropical, subtropical, or temperate, the angle of cutting of these plates is such that it is as per the need of the community in which it is there. And when you look at the way the post-harvest, as our secretary has said, the Garo Hills have beautiful indigenous knowledge for wood preservation, for firewood, as well as for granaries that we are documenting and trying to modernize it. And in the context of cultivation, when you say Zoom, everybody talks that Zoom is very bad. The Zoom relates to climate change and mitigates climate enhance decrease the climate change. But in dune fields, you have not less than 14 to 16 varieties of vegetable that is very good for the nutritional needs of our lactating mothers and children. So these are the balances, checks and balances that community knows. And they use the alder, the coppicing of alder, or the polarizing of alder, which being a nitrogen fixation plant, is what community has been using for green manure. These are the things that we really need to look at, these skills that is dying, and codify this so that the next generation is aware. Most of these indigenous people have not even gone to colleges or school, but the tools and implements are very, very good scientific backing to it. Then we look at health. We have with us, we happen to look also at the Bioresource Development Center. We have a lot of traditional healers. And over the few years that we are trying to do a community dialogue, more than 2,500 traditional healers are willing to share their knowledge. And for most of the people who don't know, 80% of the herbs that goes to Rishikesh and Haridwar comes from the northeastern region. So this is the rich hotspot biodiversity of traditional healers, but yet the traditional healers have not yet been mainstreamed into Ayurveda or allopathy medicine yet, for which the State Council is working along with the Biodiversity Board and the Autonomous District Council of how to recognize the skills of these traditional healers and pass it on to the next generation. The native skills in regard to basketry and pottery is very well known. This art is also dying. Larnai pottery is a famous pottery that you can microwave it. And it's very interesting that most of these potteries are done by women in the state of Meghalaya. So these skills of these people needs to be looked in, codified, and mainstream them to the conventional skilling under the National Skills Development Council, so that the next generation can have a livelihood through this skilling. Next. When we look at civic structures, for generations, the structures built by our ancestors have withstood the highest earthquake in the world and still survived. It's just that the community had looked at nature, the effect of wind and the effect of cyclones and the effect of floods while they designed these superstructures, and the chimneys that we are famous for chulas. That skill is again dying, that we need to really look in, document, and take it up on a value chain. The crematorium, eco-friendly crematorium, is one of the USP of the state. Now it's been taken up by many of the communities when they cremate for cremation. Next, please. Well, what we are looking at under the science and technology, as per the mapping of S&T needs of the state, we need to look at native skills certification. Under the Skill Sector Council, we need to first initiate the scouting of these innovation, develop the cluster, document it, and codify it under IPR or copyrights, identify the master trainers and the training partners, and try to align these under the National Skills Qualification Framework, which consists of 10 levels. We are working with the Meghalaya State Skills Development Society to try to align these native skills with the NSQF framework, so that the next generation can have a better opportunities for livelihood in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for highlighting the native skills that has been practiced in the state of Meghalaya since time immemorial. Though these native skills do lack certain scientific temperament, but I hope that with the advancements in the field of science technology, these indigenous technologies can be adopted, modified, and upscaled for the betterment of the society. Thank you very much, sir. So moving on with the next presenter, I kindly request Dr. Abhinav Kant, who is the project coordinator, Northeast Center for Technology Application and Reach Nectar. He is the head of the Bamboo and Cane Development Institute in Tripura. Sir, I kindly request you to kindly give the talk.
Yeah. Good morning, all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you. So, thank you for this opportunity to present technologies on bamboo sector. And I'm working in Northeast from last more than 12 years. And during this 12 years, I got an opportunity to know the different areas and different states, their existing skills, their products. So basically, we are working on bamboo related activities. And here I am sharing my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Thank you. So today we are going to talk on technologies in bamboo sector for rural development. Recently there is a development, Bamboo and Cane Development Institute, which is situated at Tripura in Agartala. So the running and management of this institute is handed over to Northeast Center for Technology Application and Reach, which is an autonomous institute under Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. And we have taken care of this institute, and definitely this MOU will bring much more results in whole Northeast. However, this BCDI is working in Northeast from 1974. So we can say this is the oldest institute in country working on bamboo-based activity, more towards developing artisans, developing skills, bringing new products and innovation in the sector. So this is about the technologies and the services this institute is providing. Right from skill and capacity development, which is the most important thing. So this institute is providing a skill development activity from 1974 onwards. We do have a design service where new designs and new products we develop, which is according to the market demand. Then we have a product development and prototyping facility. This is an important facility because when we develop any new designs, it requires a market validation and how that prototype looks. So here we make prototypes and we do that product development activity. Then we have our technical services. Technical services is like we are also a technical agency under different government schemes. There is a MSME scheme which is known as a Spurti, and that Spurti is basically to revive the traditional clusters working in handicraft sector. So here we are working as a technical agency. Then we also have an education and R&D activity. In education, we are running a one-year postgraduate diploma course, which is in collaboration with Tripura Central University. So this course is known as postgraduate diploma in bamboo cultivation and resource utilization. So these are the major services what we are providing right now. Now coming to bamboo sector, we all know that Niti Aayog has identified 5 sectors in Northeast. which is known as bamboo, tea, tourism, dairy, and fishery. So these are the 5 sectors which we are focusing for the northeastern area, and bamboo is one of them. And we know bamboo is a abundant material available in northeast. And when we observe the statistics of this northeastern area, around 16 million hectare, we can say, under bamboo growing area, which is even higher than China. But unfortunately, our productivity is less, and most of the resources are forest-based. So this is where we are lacking behind with China. Whatever the plantations they have in China is man-made and out of forest. So they are much more planned, and we can get quality raw material every time around the year. When we talk about bamboo, there are about 1,500, you can say, uses of bamboo. So it has documented 1,500 uses. So it can be used as medicine, for edible purpose, for household purpose. So we can imagine anything, and it can be possible with bamboo. So this is a slide showing about development of any sector. So this is about 5M: material, man, machine, market, and management. So this is a very important 5M term, which can be applicable in other sectors also. So right now I am talking about bamboo. When we talk about resources, as I earlier told that we have maximum resources forest-based. This is a farmer in China observing his bamboo. So you can see how uniform and how beautiful these bamboo, straight bamboo. And there is a saying that the Indian bamboo is not similar to Chinese bamboo, and that's why China is much ahead. And sometimes there are some experiments conducted where we brought Chinese bamboo and experimented in our area. But the climatic condition and other things, adaptive characters are different as compared to China. So if we are doing that thing, so this is not at all practical in our context. So what we have to do, we have to figure out our indigenous bamboo resources. So these are the resources available in Northeast. You can see this bamboo is at par with that Chinese bamboo. The important thing for industrialization and for development of product, the most important thing is straightness of bamboo. So if bamboo is straight, nodes are clear, it can be industrialized and it can be used more effectively in, for machine processing. So these are the slides showing our indigenous product. So now what is required, or the technology required, is we do have that technology, tissue culture technologies and other propagation technologies. So the most important thing is we have to find out the suitable bamboo, suitable plums or candidate plus plums, and propagation methods. So once these products are scaled up through tissue culture technology, we can establish our rural-based nursery programs or nurseries. And by raising these nurseries, the rural people can also get livelihood opportunities. So this is an important aspect for developing a quality planting material. Now we know that India is the youngest country. Every second Indian is below 29 years. So we can see that there is a huge demand of, you can say, jobs. We have to create a lot of jobs, but it is not possible to create as much as job what is needed. So entrepreneurship and utilization of local resources is the key. And here bamboo can be pitched in, where we can utilize the local resource and provide livelihood to the local youths. So skilling, India is one of them. Bringing technology as well as skilling to the cluster or the rural area where these people can develop products at their cluster area. Already there are many technologies available in bamboo sector, But how to utilize that technology and how to convert that processed material into product is the key. For that, we need skill, we need machines, and we need market research. So these are the treatment methods, because bamboo is very prone for infection and we need chemical treatment. This is a rural-based butchery method, which does not require any type of electricity also. And this is a very effective method of treatment, and for making houses, this is the best method. Now coming towards the indigenous and rural-based technologies, what type of joints is required is very important, because bamboo is prone for splitting. So there are certain, whenever we are making any product, so those products should be durable. And how to make those products durable, there is certain technologies, like we cannot nail bamboo, because bamboo has a tendency of splitting. So this is a DDP, drill, dowel, and pin. So this is a joint which has to be done in any furniture products. So these are the drawings, how we can estimate the raw material requirements. These are the detailed design sheet. So whenever we are doing any skill development program and product development activity, we have to first find out what is our raw material requirement. So these slides shows about raw material estimation and the details of that design. These are again design sheets. Now these are few of those furniture products, and these products require uniformity. The most important thing is products should be uniform as much as possible. So for making them uniform, we need jigs and fixtures. By using these jigs and fixtures, we can make individual component uniform. So these are the products which were developed during the training, and during that training, the artisan used jigs and fixtures to make them uniform as much as possible. So these are the again sitting arrangement and sofa set. You can see the uniformity of this product. Now, bamboo is a very beautiful material. It is straight also, and we can also bring a lot of bands. So this slide shows exceptional bendability with no compromise on strength. This furniture set is made up of 100% bamboo. So these curves are also bamboo. So this is just to show about the product and the strength of bamboo. Again, these are some contemporary products where prophylactic color treatment is given. Now this is again a sitting chair made up of bamboo. Now the key is bringing technology. There are simple systems like how to make any product now down, so that the transportation costs get reduced. So this is a very important thing in Northeast, working in Northeast. Transportation is a it covers a huge amount. So this is a knockdown version. This is tool, we have created this stool in a knockdown version, having a nut bolt system and packed in a 3-inch height packet. So initially it was a 1 feet product, and after doing this knockdown version, the packaging size was like 3 inches in height. Again, bringing contemporary colors. The colors may be artificial, or when we are working in Northeast, we do have a lot of dyes available, natural dyes. We can use those dyes, and playing with those colors and weaving skills, we can make a lot of contemporary products. These are again jewelry products, or we also call it as miniature baskets. So these are jhumkas and other earrings product, pendants, made out of bamboo using natural colors as well as artificial colors. Now, when we talk about technologies, these are the basic machines available in bamboo sector. So, and these machines are somehow available in different parts of Northeast, also in Meghalaya. And these machines can only split bamboo, and these machine can make these type of slats, 4-side plane slats. So machine the most important thing is machine or technology cannot make product. They process that material, and that processed material has to be converted into product with the intervention of human skills. So these slats we can convert into slat, chopping board. These are industrial products. We have to establish industry for this type of material, chopping board and other bamboo board. Then we can also use these slats for making handicraft products. We can supply these slats to the cluster areas and rural artisan people where they can use this material for product development activity. Again, this is a stick, round stick. We all know that agarbatti sector, there is a technology paradigm shift. And now all the agarbatti sticks market require only round bamboo sticks. So for those round bamboo sticks, there is a demand of 70,000 metric ton of round bamboo stick yearly. So it is a huge demand, and right now we are importing maximum of round bamboo agarbatti sticks. So this sector can be worked out, and the rural people can get a lot of livelihood opportunity. Right from making round stick as well as rolling and incensing and packaging. So we can do a complete value chain in agarbatti sticks. Then sliver also we can make from machines for making weaving for weaving products as well as bamboo mat board, corrugated sheet. So these are the different supply chain or complete product chains where we can use machines, and these primary process material can be converted into product. And for assembly parts, we need certain hand tools and power operated tools. These are the keys for further product development activity. We need simple power operated hand tools and assembly lines for hand tools. Now, we can definitely say all bamboo products as a Z product, zero defect and zero effect. Because bamboo is the most sustainable material, fastest growing plant on this planet. So it can create the least environmental harm or environmental, we can say, problem. And then the product, if we are making product defectless or without any, we can say, shortfall, then definitely we can call our product as Z product or zero defect and zero effect product. Now, I earlier told you about these bamboo processed materials. So these are slat, processed slat, and these slat products we can make different types of value-added products. These are laptop stand, and a great demand. These are foldable laptop stand. We can carry our bag also, and we call this technology or this part as Napo Kato Jodo. This is a Hindi term. Napo means measure, Kato means cut, and Jodo means fix. So when we have a four-side plant material from machine, the artisan has to measure it, cut it, and fix it. So these products requires only this skill: measure, cut, and fix. So these products are again Napo Kato Jodo products. This is a slide, a drawing showing the steps how to make these types of contemporary trays. These are trays. Then these are placemats, photo frames. These all products are made out of processed material from bamboo processing machine. Again, this is processed material. These artisan groups, they are using this machine processed material for further product development activity. This is a fruit basket. We can make waste bin. We can make a laundry basket. The only thing is we require certain types of jigs and fixtures so that our product should be uniform. And you can see these products are uniform, and the shape of these baskets are stackable so that in transportation there will be a less space required. So this is a slide showing uniform production. Then these are again lamps is the hottest material in product development activity and in market. There is always a need of illuminations and lamps and shades. And these are some contemporary lamps made out of bamboo using handmade paper. Then these are basket made out of bamboo mat board. Again, these all products are Napo Kato Jodo products. Now, this is any product which is available on online market is a successful product. So this is one of a successful product known as mobile amplifier. And this we have to just cut a bamboo piece with a certain angle and finish it. So this is we are honoring the nature's design. We are using the hollowness of this bamboo. So this is a very simple product, scalable product, and can be worked out in any rural area. Again, these are a single layer board, rural based technology where we can fix these 4-side plan into a single layer board, and then the artistic skill of artisan can be utilized for making different types of lamp products. Regarding product innovation, there is always a demand of new innovation, new product. BAM bottle is one of the innovative product. This product has been trademarked. The different designs has been registered, and the process is also filed for patent. Previously, there was bamboo bottle, but in that bamboo bottle, there is a problem of leakage, contamination, and odor. So in this bamboo bottle, we have utilized a steel, copper, or a glass layer inside this material. And recently, we brought a automation in this manufacturing process. Previously, the whole process is handmade, and it requires a lot of time, and production cost is quite high. Here we brought some automation where the hardship has been reduced, and we are supplying processed material to the artisan group where they can do that assembly part. These are new designs which has been developed and even registered. These are different skill development training program where artisans learn how to make these products, contemporary products, bamboo bottle. Now, earlier Dr. Vipin Kumar told about bamboo toys also, a toy industry. So the bamboo has not yet been explored much on toy products. And recently we have developed certain product categories and certain technologies of making bamboo toys. These are a collection of bamboo dolls depicting different state, and every state doll is wearing a traditional attire. So this bamboo doll set is also informative and a knowledge, you can say, toy product. These are again some cars and toys made out of bamboo. These are swingers or spinners made out of bamboo. These are again bamboo cars. These are bamboo rocking birds utilizing the natural shape of bamboo. These are bamboo racing cars. Last month only we have launched a bamboo cricket bat. This is the first cricket bat made out of bamboo in India. We have used bamboo glue board technology, and this board is converted into bat. So bat can also be made out of bamboo, and this is the first product. We have also made bamboo stumps, which are the natural form of bamboo, and what we have done is we made this bamboo in a perfect cylinder by turning a skill, and these stumps are, you can say, we are directly converting the natural bamboo into a stump. So this is again a very good product for market. We all know that in Northeast, even in Meghalaya, we used to consume bamboo, and there are different type of cuisines, fresh cuisines. Then there is pickle also, and we also made some cookies made out of a local bamboo, which is available in Tripura, known as Malocana passifera. This is a very sweet bamboo, having very less bitterness, and we have converted it into cookies, and now bakery has also been set up for commercial production of these cookies. Again, we know that bamboo is available only for a limited time period. So canning is very important. So these types of technologies are also available where we can can this material, pack this material, and store this material around the year. So there is a continuous supply of this bamboo shoot, edible bamboo shoot. Right now, whatever the bamboo shoot available in any hotel and market, we are procuring it from Bhutan or Taiwan or some other Southeast Asian country. And as being a country, we are not canning this material. So definitely this canning technology can bring a lot of livelihood opportunity and can provide job to the local youths and even can provide a good price to the bamboo crop. We do have a bamboo a course where right from propagation, plantation, and then treatment, bamboo processing, how to process this bamboo, and then making glue board, bamboo charcoal. Charcoal is a very important sector nowadays because there is a great demand of coal and government has banned coal extraction and its movement. So bamboo can be an alternative and can provide a lot of livelihood opportunity to the locals. For construction sector also, bamboo can play a major role in Northeast and more specifically in Meghalaya. There is shade house and greenhouse is in a great demand. So all the structures we can do in bamboo, that is very much possible, and we can utilize the local material. These are nurseries made out of bamboo as a whole. So this is about my presentation and how we can utilize the local material using local technology and involving local youths. Thank you.
So thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful talk. And as we all know that bamboo is generally called the green gold because it is becoming increasingly more valuable in the global economy. And along with the variety of uses it can be put into it, it is highly renewable, sustainable, and easy to grow. Nectar, especially under the aegis of Bamboo and Cane Development Institute, have really developed the indigenous methods of bamboo craft and construction through technology intervention, whereby value-added bamboo products are at present comparable to the high-end products that are present in the market. Several interventions taken up by Nectar as a whole have really immensely improved the livelihood of the community and local artisan through improved supply chain in the bamboo sector, whether it is in the field of handicraft, furniture, toys, or other bamboo utilities. Sir, I thank you for that wonderful talk, and we'll move on to the next speaker. Our next speaker is Dr. Pinchgai Marwing. He is the Assistant Research Officer of the Tribal Research Institute of Meghalaya. So he'll be talking on iron smelting and tool manufacturing in the state of Meghalaya. Dr. Pinchgai, so kindly share your presentation.
Thank you. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Kongsi. A very good afternoon. Very good afternoon to all the dignitaries, speaker, and participants in this webinar on indigenous technologies of the state. I will talking about the Khasi indigenous technology, special focus on iron smelting, technology behind the manufactures of agricultural implement, and unique talamulium. We from the Tribal Research Institute, Meghalaya, Shillong, we have done a kind of extensive documentation in this particular area of studies. So I'll move on. I won't take that much time. Nowadays, only traditional afford glimpse of what the Khasi traditional mood of iron smelting was probably like. The Khasi blacksmith of today, and even most of the elderly among them, have no extensive information regarding the ancient Sainar, traditional iron smelting. This Sainar is a traditional iron smelting. However, even the scant information provided by them has proved greatly invaluable due to the dearth of the data in this regard. The oral tradition collected were given by 70 years old Partan Kharbuli, one of the eldest Khasi blacksmiths who owned two Shlam at Ulong village, that is in Sorankam area. The 65 years old Abaswar Taryang from Nong Bet village, and who possesses one slum at the, and the 60 years old Rose Kongset from Lailkat village. Now we come to the traditional slum or factory. The iron was processed at the slum or factory. The furnace for smelting operation was properly enclosed by ishilia or stone to provide protection from the winds. On the reverse of the furnace, a tall flat stone was used as a fence. Beneath it were two small channel holes made of mud. On its end, two small bamboo pipes were joined together for connecting the bellows with the fire. The main function of these two small channels and two bamboo pipes was to supply air from the bellows to the fire. During smelting, the furnace had to maintain high flame, for which charcoal was frequently added and the bellows pumped continuously. The bellows known as kakinwo was a piston pump bellows made from bamboo with either wooden or bamboo cylinder at the bottom connecting it to the furnace. There was a small valve cut near the base of each cylinder and a small valve in the head of each cover shaft that was open. The workers. We're talking about workers who are engaged in the iron smelting process and the tool manufacturing. So the first group, the slum were divided into small groups. The first group were iron ore collectors who procure iron ore from river bank. The iron ore was mixed with river sand and could be found either on the river bed or on the site where it was diced to by the water. The collector will carefully observe the site of the river and on detecting iron will immediately take the ore along the sand and extract it by sorting, filtering it out in bamboo net or shalani, specially prepared for this purpose. The iron ore along with tiny grain of sand was then filtered through a bamboo net. The second group gathered the tarkhangnar, wild fan from the forest. The third group collected kandosau or doportha, that is red soil. The fourth group collected shabli, sand from the hill slope and then straight it properly via the bamboo net or shalani, since only very fine shaft clay was used for smelting purpose. The fifth group were for hammering purpose. The sixth group was designed to pump the below, known as kakinwo. The seventh group had to fetch the water. The last group was the smelters. The master concept narrative only differ in that, according to him, a traditional furnace for smelting iron was operated on the ground. The method of making the underground furnace was very simple. The blacksmith will initially dig a cylindrical hole to a depth of at least 8 feet to 10 feet with a circumference of around 4 feet to 5 feet. The bottom of the pit will be covered with firewood, which will then be lit up. Once the fire started burning properly, they will add more wood to it and ready the mixture for smelting the iron. The mixture will consist of iron ore, Kakhandou Sao, Uttarakhand, and Ushya Play. The blacksmith will first place the iron ore in a container and add the required Kakhandou Sao or Dou Sao, Uttarakhand, and Ushya Play to it. Finally, the required amount of water was poured in and everything was stirred vigorously with a big spoon or ladle. Following this prepared mixture will be placed on the burning fire and soil will be added to properly cover or seal the pit entirely. The covering of soil will extend to a height of around half or 1.5 feet, half feet or 1 feet above the ground. To assess the burning process, the smelter will make 2 holes. One will be on the top of the mount sealing the furnace, while the other will be on its side. The hole on top of the mount was for purpose of supplying air to the underground furnace so as to maintain the flame and high temperature inside the pit. The hole at the side was meant for allowing the liquid slag to drain out as the solid iron separate from the earthy material. By converting some of the coke to the liquid slag, which will drain away from the metal, the resultant bloom will flow out from the mud. Will made on the side of mud covering the pit will be properly collected through the plank process. The ancient Kasi were much of a warring tribe and iron was thus very important to them, not only in their constant welfare, but also for others. More peaceful activities like agriculture, iron tools used at home, in the field as well as for warfare includes the Tari, Dao, Rashi, Mokhil, Basha, Nam, Sum, State, White, of various types. The Khasi people have been practicing their own traditional technique of iron smelting for thousands of years, known as Kashlam Sainar or Kashlam Shna Tiernar. It was well established even before the British set foot in the Khasi Hill. However, the traditional technique of iron smelting seemed to have died out from Khasi society almost in the mid-19th century, though ready-made loom has replaced the traditional iron smelting technique. Iron tool manufacturers still continue to this day. Regarding the traditional technique, P.R.T. Gordon, in his monograph entitled The Khasi, mentioned that the two villages of Nongkram and Lailangkot were the important center of iron smelting. By the presence there of large granite boulder on the ground along the hillside. Describing the Khasi method of iron extraction, he explained that these boulders had rolled to the ground since the softer rock filling there incised had been worked out by iron worker. With this softer portion removed, the granite boulder toppled to the ground. The softer ferruginous rock was then dug out and iron ore extracted from it via washing. The entire process of iron smelting was then followed by the smelter. The most common tool they manufacture will hook and hew. Charles Turner, in The Blacksmith and His Folks in Mountain of Northeast India, inferred that the Khasi people have an almost bewildering array of technique for the craft of metallurgy. He mentioned that the Khasi were the only tribe among those of Southeast Asia to have their own deposit of iron ore. Moreover, they had a thriving business exporting their products to the Brahmaputra Valley. Every sort of indigenous device was used for fashioning imported iron into agricultural implement for their own use. He also mentioned the most primitive piston below in Asia found in Meghalaya, and which was sketched by Sir Joseph Hooker in his classic travel book Himalayan Journal. This sketch was on the type of Khasi below walked by two people with their feet standing on top and opening and closing each half. The inherent skill of the Khasi in urban tree based on the cultivation of modern varieties of mountain treated by thick slurry bud is evident by their developing their own range of iron hue of a form unknown anywhere else. He found that some of the iron tools were almost perfect, large with the size and weight of a heavy shovel, all of peculiar shoulder, from which may well go back to being a derivative from the primitive Stone Age. He explained that the general rule was for most villages to have a forge with a simple piston pump below. For instance, a piston cylinder fixed horizontally, two openings into the air collection chamber, bamboo cylinder serving as air collection chamber, and two bamboo pipes leading to the fire. M. Simon, in his book entitled Meghalaya District Gazetteer, Khasi Hill District, stated that iron smelting has been pursued for a very long time in the Khasi Hill. Lieutenant H. Yule was the first person to attempt to explore the Khasi traditional method of extracting iron ore and iron foundry. In his note on the iron of the Khasi Hill, of the Khassia Hills, submitted to the Asiatic Society of Bengal, he reiterated the ancientness of the traditional Khasi iron smelting technique and described the process in graphic detail. The most recent finding by local scholar in 2017, led by Dr. Marco Dimitri, Professor Desmond L. Kharmuklang, and Professor Hamburg J. Simle, in their 2017 book, Itumay Larki Barkakhana Petang, Ulum Sopat Bedang, La Yit Kmi Archaeology, a Haipot Holor Jinti Wat Lia, La Lum Nongtro, put forth the theory that the Khasi Gentia industries of iron smelting and export of such items thereof suffered a decline during the British occupation of this hill. Notwithstanding, the such knowledge was retained via the writing and observation led by the officer and ethnographer of the British government. These observations act as evidence toward the metallurgical expertise of the Khasi iron industries as observed between the 18th and 19th centuries. Prokop and Suliga, in their article 2000 Years of Iron Smelting in the Khasi Hill, Meghalaya, Northeast India, found that iron smelting in the Khasi Hill has been practiced for the last 20 years. 2000 years, sorry. For the last 2000 years. Based on a radiocarbon dating of charcoal from iron slag found in the Khasi Hill, they discovered that the slag layer date to 2040, 80 years, PP region of Northeast India. They further argue that the relative isolation of the Khasi people who inhabit a highly elevated plateau was evident of the indigenous vision of this manufacturing technology. Now we come to the part of iron tool and the significance in the agricultural sector. Agriculture is the primary occupation of the Khasi people, from which he used a variety of iron implement in land clearance, cultivation, preparation. The important iron tool used include white block, white lumen or white input, and steel. In showing after the seed of rice, wheat, etc. are scattered by hand all over the paper field. Umokil is used to cover the soil. Umokil is also used in line, showing or dropping the seed into the soil for contact between soil and seed. In weeding, umokil is the only traditional iron tool used for controlling weed by clearing the upper soil. In harvesting, the iron tool implement are white block, mokil, and rashi. Now come to manufacturing of agriculture and other iron implement. The Khasi manufactures the tools at Islam. Agricultural tool and others include tari siang, tari dak, rashi, katalamliam, khnam, som, sisal, nar put trek, siak rendah, rendah beniat, pankri, kanap, unarka, dash, nar kurnyut, and nar mubsil. Usop mukil, most especially the iron bit that join the trunk of the implement of the wooden handle as well as a mukil, curate or lahu, the simple white guna or white prat, white odo sdi, odo and white kunkrang. The slab is usually packed to capacity with little room to spare. The entire requirement for tool manufacturing are arranged in proper manner. Charcoal kept probably in one corner of the slum. The silk a long wooden drum for storing cool water placed at yet another corner. Usiable kept in cement or rice sack and piled at one corner of the slum. Only other equipment such as hammer, tong, nut floor, chisel, etc. are kept properly in one place. Equipment of the slum or traditional iron factory. The various types of equipment are required for iron tool manufacture by the Khasi blacksmith are Doyang, one canoe, one big rectangular running type or anvil, one machine device, turnam or hammers, one small rectangular running, one or two big snare, tong, 4 big rectangular narclor, 10 or 15 big snare with handle, 2 wooden link knot, 1 small container filled with oil for the frank process, 1 big drilling device, 1 small drilling device, 1 or 2 plier or halai, a small kurat or nar, 1 shuai, 2 or 3 small shirti, syable, dobertha or kandau, saw, 1 or 2 big moshuk white, 1 or 2 branding or marking device, 1 or 2 big chingwai. Technique of manufacturing usop mukil. The sub-mukil would be perfect without usop mukil. We join the hoop plate to the wooden handle. It comes in different size, but it only 2 shapes, circular and rectangular. The common usop mukil is of 2 types. One made from the iron of a water supply pipe. This is of a more recent method than the traditional one. While the other is made from the iron as canal uncle, traditionally made from bloom, but now procured from the axle spring of vehicle. Usop mukil made from canal uncle is very difficult and tiresome to make than usop mukil manufactured from the iron pipe. Charcoal is the only fuel used during manufacture of this tool. Technique of manufacturing mukil. Only the slum manufacture their mukil blade, known as Q, rib or Q-lahu, of which there are various types such as Q-lahu or Karpang, Q Maram or Dong Sapni, Q Bhoi, Q Kanha, Q Snat Q, Nadam, Q Kanon, Q Prat, Q Tber, Q Khnam, Q Ladam, Q Ladamlet, and Q Red that comes in variety of shape and size. The mukil is manufactured from a type of iron known as canal uncle, which is small and average. The curate is made from iron known as canal uncle. Technique of manufacturing the simple white buna or white prat, white lungon or white lungon. Only one type of white buna or white prat is manufactured, and which is very simple. It manufactures follow the same process as that of mocktail. On completion, the tool is polished by the hammer with the sharpie or motion rod. Then manufacturing the stay. Manufacturing of stay is similar to manufacturing the mocktail and the white lemon or lumkut. The light slum manufacturing different type of usdi such as usdi sliting, usdi khasi, and usdi sintang. No different technique is employed in manufacturing the stay. The only difference being in the measurement of the axle for cutting into pieces. Since this iron tool comes in different size, the only other valuable difference only occur in the cutting process where different techniques are employed to make various types of steel that have different shape. Manufacturing white buno. Different types of white buno are manufactured. These include white pradong, white prat, or sensar, white prat or ding, white bag, white lenong, white or lakna, and white tram. The technique of manufacturing this tool are essentially the same but differ only in the measurement of the size as well as in the cutting of their various shape. Then we come to the unit of the talamulim. What is the main requirement of a lock or tala? That no one can break the lock. How is that possible? Khasi indigenous technology make it possible. It may defy belief, but one Khasi indigenous technology does make it possible with the talamulim. The talamulim involve various stages of manufacture, each of which use a specific technique. This tool is made from various metals such as the thick tina or tin, iron plate, large shatri, umbrellas, that is umbrella, small rod, 8 mm to 10 mm, iron rod, excuse me, some coil spring, nail, round metal, etc. A notable feature of this lock is that the key to open or close it is inserted from the side and not the front, as in the case with the conventional lock. The intricacy of the lock is such that 3 blacksmiths are involved in its manufacture. They include the head or expert blacksmith, the blacksmith and open woman or the helper. Manufacturing begins with the lighting of the fire, after which the shape cutting stage of tool begins. The blacksmith cut the shape of the lock into different sizes, small, medium, and big, and fashion the shape of the lock. He placed their frame on top of the thick tina or iron plate and marked the shape with pointed chisel. He then cut this out with the help of cutting tools such as kanchi, captain, scissor, etc. Doing this, he devised the mechanism of the lock for placement within the lock. The blacksmith used the large shatri to spring small iron rod or big nail, thick tina or thin iron plate, etc. for making the coil spring type of mechanism. The next step involved making the key of the lock. He used an 8 mm to 10 mm iron rod and a bronze metal. The process of making the key is very crucial, since if there are even any slight mistake, then a new key will have to be made. The blacksmith used a hammer, urat, atlar, snyak, shoti, etc. while making the key. After finishing both the machine and the key, the next step is to make the lung or head. The lung is made from the 8 mm to 10 mm iron rod and is cut according to the requirement length. The blacksmith then places both ends of the iron rod in their fire till they become red hot. They are then taken out for the hammering work and put through the crank process, that is immersion in cool water. He next bends the rod into a U shape, one end of which he fixed permanently onto the lock. The other end is not fixed so that it can penetrate the lock, making it easy to close or open the security device with the key. The blacksmith then covers the inner part of the lock on both sides with the required shape fashion area from the model and seal it with the iron rod or nail. The final task is the finishing, which involves publishing with the shirty or motion white. The manufacturing of the aluminum is ready. Now we'll come to the Now we'll come to the photo section. This traditional slum, this photo I have taken from the Mulim. Mulim is the one of the village which has large number of traditional slum, this traditional factory. Next. So this is the material which ready-made iron, which in Khasi we call kanar ankle, which is used for making various of iron tool. Next. This is some of the equipment they use for making the various tool of traditional iron tool. Out here we see that there's a cycle. We see charcoal. Then this one is the red soil, which they use while making the salt here. That part which join the handle with the plate of the hill. They use what they say the traditional welding. This is traditional welding. No, they used to do by this black. They put the ratio, the white sand, and this red soil. Then after that they burn into the fire. Then it became fixed. So this is the anvil, and this we see that this for shop they use for making tool. Next. So this is the Kenwu man. Out here we see two types of Kenwu men below. This one is traditional one. The man you see out there, he pull the below. He have to apply some force, some energy. And the other one, in the other side we see that the modern one. But why making the big iron tool like heel, big down and all? They have to use the traditional below because it provide more air to compare with this modern one. Next. So we see the blacksmith are engaged in making the iron tool, traditional iron tool. Next. So we see that they are, after mixing, they are cutting the ready-made iron into pieces, and out here we see that Master Spartan Kharbuli making the salt mukil. And this other one, the salt mukil is under process of making. Next. See, we saw that they have some blacksmith. They engage in working, and we saw there one blacksmith engaged in hammering the tool to making the shape. And we see this is the forge or flame which they use for burning the tool to make. So this is very important among all this iron tool. After manufacture, after they have making, without they are not doing this, then that tool it won't be good or it won't be perfect to use. So they have to do this Kaprang process, but simple can see immersion in cool water convert to hard, but it needs some technique. You need some skill how to dip inside the water. If we just dip directly like that, then that tool will be broken easily. So they have to apply some technique. Next. So we see some tool. Here we see some agricultural tool in various variety. We see that heel, which is a V-shape, is we call Q-maram or Q doksakmi. The other one, which is the other type of mokil. And we see here this white tingkrong use Khasi. Most of the Khasi family or household, the Khasi people used to keep that kind of white tingkrong because we Khasi people use the meat is very favorite food, so that is used for cutting the meat into pieces. And we see here the axe, then the big down and the salt mokil. So we see here that there are two types of knife. The other one is very costly. This with a variety of color we have seen in the right hand side. We see that there is yellow, red, white, blah blah, and very small. But this one is very hard to make. It's very tiresome. So the price of this is very costly. And we see here the one another knife, which has the cover with wooden, is very cheap to compare with that tari shieng we call in Khasi. And this costly one we call tari shieng, because why they make that handle they make with the bones. of the animals. And the other one we call taridak. Why? Because the handle is made from the wooden. So this is a unique talamulium. You see that there are variety of this is the of course is a uniform size, but in the slum or in the traditional factory we can find from the smaller to the bigger one. So this is only one sample which I took a photo from my from Nongkuli village. But you see, most of this talamulium now they are blacksmith. They have only less person who have the skill to manufacture this. Most of the old blacksmiths, those of Muliam, those of Lailenko, they have passed away. So I found during my field work, I found most of this blacksmith who still know how to make, how to manufacture is only in that Nongkuli village, which is very not far away from Muliam or from Lailenko. And this is only one person which every blacksmith used to respect. He's the we can see he's like a guru to the youngest blacksmith who want to learn the skill. So this is the part which I call, you see, there is a body part, and the other one is the lock mechanism. In the left hand side we saw that is the lock mechanism which they made from the waste material like tina, coil, blah blah blah. No? Then we see that here there's they are in the right hand side is like a body. Then after they have made, they just insert it and they fake it, and tala is ready to use. So thank you. Only that much. Thank you very much.
So before we move on to the next session, I would like to share one video in this regard. Mr. Bante, can you stop sharing so I can share? Mr. Bante, can you stop sharing the slide?
Sebab si labannya cok ni aja panggil kamu kita.
Karena kamu terai kalau apa? Ada spas nam, hela ada selatan spas nam. Ada mesti terai tu kan, terai ini. Nanti kau sampai dia, kau mama yang tak ter. Hangi taruh orang gaya pengusaha kau mungkin hilah ya lah. Nanti kita ini labur dia kena.
Sebab kamu senang film-film kan kata.
Wah, kita kan juga senang ini bantrai sam terlalu bah. Kalau macam belah susu, nang bang, pendak tu biasa.
Kayak kancing kau buat siapa doa hari ni datang.
Kancing kata ay tang nakatagadaw ko ba kunsin ko ba tang amat negi bisa dimudahkan bang kontak kan sekali mentang siapa yang sedang menerima dan penduduk dari kita ke dalam nasional pom spring tadi yang senang itu punya bantan dari senang itu juga dari
Kaiga dia kalau kita yang mau kamu itu
ini anak banta kalau nak banta kita bisa tuang kamu kawasan ini ada yang doyong spring kita tiba
So thank you very much, Dr. Marwain, for highlighting the indigenous technology with regard to the iron smelting and the indigenous talamille. So the purpose of the council to highlight these indigenous technology is that though the method has been taken up till date at present, we found that certain part of the community still follow the craft of iron smelting, but still they follow the same old age technique, though they have adopted a certain technology intervention, but most of the time these still involve manual labor and high drudgery. So technology intervention, such as improved furnace, etc., in this part is the need of the hour. And at present, the council will be working in conjunction with the Tribal Research Institute to scientifically document the technology, and provide necessary intervention, as the market for the tools and implements locally is in very high demand. And as you can see that some of these tools and implements have also high potential for GI, and the Patent Information Center of the council is currently working on this, and hopefully we might be able to get a few GI in this field as well. Thank you very much, Dr. Marwain. And I'll continue with the next speaker. Next, we have Ms. Leshi Kashina from the National Institute, National Innovation Foundation, Guwahati Cell for Northeast Region. So she'll be giving us a talk on mainstreaming local innovation and tradition, cases of living wood bridges, Tirchang pottery, and low-cost crematorium. Ms. Leshi, kindly take the...
Yeah, fine. Okay, good afternoon. And first of all, I would like to thank the Meghalaya State Council for giving me this opportunity to share on mainstreaming local innovations and traditions with special reference to cases of Tirchang pottery and low-cost crematorium and living root bridges. Next. So before I start off, I would like to give a brief overview about NIF. So more than 322,000 ideas, innovations, traditional knowledge practices has been scouted. 1,191 patents has been filed in the name of the knowledge holders, and 1,200 projects has been supported for validation and value addition. And NIF Incubation and Entrepreneurship Council Technology Business Incubator has been set up with the support from DST. Over 120 technologies has been transferred to different licenses, and we have 150 partners with whom we're networking with currently. And 64 community workshops has been set up in 23 states, and we have one in Meghalaya as well. And 1,093 grassroots innovators, herbal healers, students and communities has been recognized at the national level. Next. Yeah. So the first case I would like to talk about is low-cost, eco-friendly crematorium. So this was invented by late Mr. Campbell Chulai from Jaintia Hills, Meghalaya, and this is a unique crematorium compared to the conventional system method of cremation. So it has chambers with thick-walled insulators. It is wood-based, and its dimension is 50 feet in length and 30 feet in width. And the heat and flame intensity can be controlled from the outside. It has an opening on the outside, which is connected to the to a 36 feet high chimney, and it reduces smoke and fumes by 90%. So and automatically the time consumed is also lessened, and it is also low cost. Next. So the innovator has been awarded with a state award in NIF's third National Grassroots Innovation Biennial Award function that was held at IIM Ahmedabad in the year 2005. And you will get his details on our website as well. Next. So I would like to talk about pottery in Tirchang village, that is in West Jaintia Hills, Meghalaya. So here these are pictures of the finished products that were being displayed when we visited. Next. Let me tell you the story behind Tirchang pottery. So the uniqueness of this pottery is that the artisans there they heavily depend on hands only, with minimal use of mechanical equipment. So these potters, they have migrated from Larnai village, and currently there are 13 households who are practicing this as a profession. And it is believed that the Shilla clan, only the Shilla clan is practicing pottery as a profession, and no written document is there as of yet, and the practice has been passed on from generation to another. Next. So these are some traditional tools that are used during the process of pottery. So snee masi, that is a ladder for pounding the clay, and siang cho, that is a wooden beater of triangular shape with handle. Mao sho diep, that is a small semi-round river stone on which the clay molds are rested. And siang da, another piece of wood used for mildly beating the clay. Mao sho, stone for shaping the product, and jingsher or narkut, that is the piece of iron used for polishing the product. Next. This is a pictorial documentation of the whole process. So after the clay is collected, it is mixed with sand, after which the pounding is done, and carefully the pebbles are separated from the mixture, and molding process is started. Next. and the excess is scraped off with an iron tool, after which smoothing is done with stones, and later on it's heated in a fireplace, and at the final process it is burnt in a kiln or a bonfire. Next. So NIF and SCSTE, the State Council of Science and Technology Meghalaya, we have intervened through the project capacity building for potters in Meghalaya. So through this project, the grassroots innovator, Mr. Mansukh Bhai, who is also the patent holder of Mitikul, was invited, and then he visited the village along with in collaboration with the State Council, NIF, and the Block Development Office in Joy, and where interaction session was done with the potters there, and the innovator and his team, they studied the whole process of making of pottery in the village, and also soil samples were collected from there along with the clay sample, and testing was done so that to see, in order to see whether a mixture of both can be made or not. And after the soil testing, potters from the village, 6 potters were sent to Gujarat, Wankener, at Mansukh Bhaiji's industrial complex for training. So this through this training program, we were looking at the objective was to expose the potters to a different method of pottery, that is mechanized large scale production of pottery, which they don't do in the village. And now through this project we're looking at a replication of methods of pottery, especially focusing on drudgery reduction, and also setting up of pottery training center, learning center, where unemployed youths and school students can come and learn about pottery in the state. Next. So here we can see the potters with the innovator Mansukh Bhaiji at his industrial complex during the training program. Next. And apart from the other 2 cases that I've spoken about, I would also like to highlight on the living root bridges, which Meghalaya is famous for. And these living root bridges has been awarded the National Award to Communities in the year 2017. And NIF and State Council of Meghalaya, understanding the significance of these community developed and nurtured grassroots innovations, we're looking at setting up of living school and museum on living root bridges as well. Next. So NIF and State Council of Meghalaya, we've been working in close partnership for the past few years now, and these are some of the activities that is ongoing as of now in the state. So on the top left, we see turbine installations which was carried out in 3 areas in the state, and on the left, we have a multi-purpose food processing machine by Dharamveer Ji, grassroots innovator Dharamveer Ji. 4 units has been installed in the state, and we're looking at setting up of food processing units as well. And at the bottom left, we have sanitary pad making units. 4 units has also been disseminated in the state. And on the right, we have Muga silk reeling machines. So we're looking at imparting training to the silk rearers and the weavers in the state. Next. So this is a moment of me trying out my hands on pottery during the visit to Tirchang village, along with Mr. Mansukh Bhaiji. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Leshi, for that wonderful talk. And I hope that the State Council of Science, Technology and Environment will continue to work with the National Innovation Foundation India to really highlight the work that has been done at the grassroots level by communities, and how technology intervention can really help to upscale their livelihood. And just to mention here that the Tirshang pottery is one of the unique pottery in the state of Meghalaya, as the raw materials that are required for making the potteries are only found in one particular area, which is the Sung Valley. And I think Ms. Leshi have sent these soil sample for analysis, and I hope that the result will be something intriguing that can be so that these like pottery will have a potential for us to have a GI as well. So thank you very much, Ms. Leshi. And continuing with the program, I kindly request Ms. Gracia. Ms. Gracia, are you there?
Yes, hello, I'm here.
Okay, so I kindly request Ms. Gracia Dakhar, who is the lead associate at the Northeast Slow Food and Agro Biodiversity Society, NASFAS Shillong, to kindly give a talk on the potential of agroecology learning circles in strengthening the indigenous food system. So, Ms. kindly take the stage and kindly share your presentation.
Firstly, a very good afternoon to everyone who have joined in today. I'll be switching off my video because my internet is quite poor. So give me a time to just share my presentation. I hope it's visible to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, your voice is being heard. Okay.
Okay. So again, greetings to everyone who have joined in. I'll be presenting on the work that we as NASFAS do with our custodian farmers and the communities that we are engaged in. We as Indigenous people have a very sacred relationship with nature where we value biodiversity, and it's strengthened by a rich Indigenous knowledge that have guided us to sustainably use our resources for food, health, and livelihood. Our food
Miss Gracia?
Yeah?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but your PPT is not visible.
Okay. Is it?
The presentation is not visible yet.
Okay. So I've switched on the share button. Is it visible to you now?
No, not yet.
Presentation. I've shared it. I've shared the entire.
Yeah, no, go back to.
Hello, Miss Gracia. Hello, Miss Gracia.
Hello, yes, I'm trying to share my screen, but I don't know, it's not.
Okay, what you can do is you can email me your presentation. Okay, I'll do it from my side.
Okay, okay,
Yes,
just
so-
hold on. I think, okay, can you see now?
yeah, we can see it now. Yeah,
Okay, okay, cool.
yeah, it can be seen now. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry for the inconvenience. So I'll be So as I was saying that we as Indigenous people have a very sacred relationship with nature, and in this with the matriarchal values of caring and sharing, we have learned to value the biodiversity, and it is strengthened by a rich Indigenous knowledge that has guided us to sustainably use our resources for food, health, and livelihood. Our food system is represented by a biodiverse agroecological production system. If you can see around our state, it includes like the jhum cultivation, the kitchen and the forest garden, the bun cultivation, the paddy and the forest. Now, if you look at this system, each of this have been developed, adapted, and refined since ancient times, highly adaptable to a specific agroecological condition. And in this system, it harbors a rich indigenous knowledge and also a rich agrobiodiversity. A participatory mapping exercise that we conducted with the help of TIP, consultant, and the FAO showed that on an average, more than 200 food plants can be found from a single village. Most of these are climate resilience. They are micronutrient rich species, but are also the most neglected and the underutilized species. We also conducted a recent study on the household food insecurity access scale, and it showed that there was virtually non-existent food insecurity in these 18 villages of the Northeast India, which were practicing indigenous farming, which demonstrate the resilience of our food system to the shocks of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, traditional agriculture is characterized by its diversity in genetic resources and practices, and our farmers are highly skilled in managing these diversity. Custodian farmers have developed practical solutions with regards to food production and natural resource management. Problems such as crop selection, then be it seed preservation, crop and pest management, and maintain or be it maintaining the soil fertility. Now, indigenous knowledge on plant genetic resources is an invaluable tool for new ways to conserve and use these resources. Here, I've just given a few of the important aspects that involves farming practices. Women in our food system have always been the seed savers. Here in the picture, you can see of a woman. You can see here is that of a custodian farmer, Congregian, who have been saving more than 80 varieties of crop individually. And also the practice of seed exchange and seed sharing is very integral to our food system and is also a way to increase the diversity and the genetic resources in the community. Here, we have specifically shown this picture of Congregian because she's an ALC member. At the same time, this tomato, which is highlighted here, is a tomato that the Congregian as a farmer have taken the initiative to propagate it, this seed, which was exchanged with farmers from Lightkanso village. So currently what she's doing is she has successfully propagated and multiplied it, and it's now supporting other farmers in her community to access the planting material, sharing knowledge of the crop, and encouraging other farmers to reduce their dependence on the otherwise market bought hybrid varieties of tomato. Then also looking into the skills and the observation skills of our indigenous farmers. Here, over times, farmers have selected specific crops that they have domesticated based on the characteristics of these crops. For example, here we have a farmer who have identified a particular variety of crop, rice variety, which has been named the Jwine variety, which was domesticated at a time when there was, it is a wild variety of rice, which was noticed by this farmer at a time when there was almost the crop failed for a particular local variety. And this Kbar Jwine is now being propagated almost throughout the region of Riboy. Then the practice of seed selection or for seed saving, there's a tradition where the farmers have documented and realized that the best harvest should be from those that from where the seeds have been saved from the first fruit of the season. And if we look at the traditional way of preservation, several techniques have been adopted, and the most common one, I think, which we will all see in a traditional household in the rural communities, would be the preservation of seeds by storing it in the above the fireplace, where smoke is used as a treatment to prevent the moisture, to maintain the moisture content, as well as prevent the infestation of these seeds with pests. The other one we saw in the knowledge is an example of the seed treatment that they do, where certain seeds are mixed with turmeric before sowing in order to, where the antibacterial properties, microbial properties of turmeric helps in the the crop production. Then we have the indigenous knowledge on farming practices. They have developed various techniques to improve and maintain soil fertility. An example is that of intercropping, crop rotation, mulching, composting, which have been practiced by farmers from time immemorial. A very common practice that we see among our farmers is the planting of maize, squash, and beans in the same plot, where we have seen that it's commonly called the sister crops, the three sister crops, where the beans give the nitrogen, improve the nitrogen, gives nitrogen to the soil. The squash kinds of work like a cover crop, and the maize provides the support for the beans. So this is the practice that has evolved over time. They have also started, if you can see, there's knowledge of preparing the raised bed planting, mounds and ridges to control soil temperature and reduce waterlogging. According to FAO, about 20 to 40% of the crop yield is reduced due to pests and diseases. Farmers have traditional practices of biological pest management, which is now a subject of interest, especially in promoting sustainable natural farming practices. So here you can see in the slide some of the biological pest management that we were able to document and which the farmers have been using it. Here you can see the example of the pest management method for cutworm in potato, where they use the wood ash. Then we have the treatment for chrome borer for taro, where rice hull is being used, and also the use of lantana or the ding so pang clear, which is used for the treatment of white grubs. However, we see that the shifting knowledge or the concept of ideal diet and the advances in agriculture that is led by the eco-industry has made us vulnerable in believing that instead of biodiversity, we must only depend on a few crops to meet our needs. The current development discourse and the advances in farming have threatened the rapid loss of indigenous knowledge that are not linearly structured but are anecdotal. So from NESFAS, we have responded to this by developing the Agroecology Learning Circle, which is a multifaceted model for community engagement and innovation, where we recognize the knowledge holders to co-create and test the knowledge, test local knowledge, as well as new solution while disseminating it to the larger communities. It is also a creative space that has brought together custodian farmers, then we have mothers, women, and youth to document the indigenous knowledge and practices and reflect on the opportunities and challenges of their food system and self-determine the responses. It has instituted greater accountability across the members to solve priority issues and ease the combination of indigenous and contemporary knowledge, continued and extended through community learning through community-led experiments, knowledge sharing, and community ownership. We've seen the success of this approach and we have seen that this approach is an important instrument to upscale the agroecological practices and create intervention with the most vulnerable communities for income and nutrition, as well as livelihood security. So we have empowered our ALC members and for the ALC to become to evolve as an immersion center. And here, how we are promoting the indigenous knowledge is through different platforms where we promote biodiversity-based livelihood opportunities such as the Meram O Cafe or the Mother Earth Cafe that work as a center to introduce local food cuisines to the people and also increase the appreciation for the local food. To encourage the participation of the youth in the food system, we organize the Youth Fellowship, and currently we have about 24 youth who are now currently taking local actions in the food system. The Agro-Biodiversity Walk, which the ALC member have organized, is a way of transferring the intergenerational knowledge onto the food system. The other is the empowered, where the ALC members have initiated interventions of community garden, school and ICDS garden to promote the learning on the indigenous food system. And at the same time, here, it is linked to the midday meal program and in turn improve the diversity of the diet of the beneficiaries of the diet in who consume. The other was on the value addition of the underutilized species and the community seed bank. That is also a platform for strengthening the local street system and promoting the food sovereignty and seed sovereignty. It is thus evident that the indigenous food system, because of its many characteristics, is a game-changing solution. Therefore, improving and supporting the efficiency of these systems can support several sustainable development goals. However, the indigenous food system is faced with the challenges, most importantly being the failure to recognize the indigenous people's right that is proving as a major threat to the indigenous food system. For indigenous food system to be able to significantly contribute towards the sustainable goal development, the collective and collaborative individual rights of the indigenous people and their lands must be ensured, and they must be encouraged to actively engage in the policy making, handing leadership to farmers and women to self-determined responses to challenges facing the indigenous communities will be critical if we are transitioning to a sustainable and equitable food system, and the Agroecology Learning Circle provides a platform that empowers these communities to take forward this movement. Therefore, we see that the food system have the capacity to generate new strength and resilience and and we need now to have an interconnected movement that we can advocate for a shift to an agroecological paradigm that will deepen the principles of biodiversity-based, socially just, and ecologically sound food system through collaboration, dialogues, and action among various stakeholders. So that is all from my end. Thank you so much for your attention. But I would want to share a video that highlight the work of NESFAS in this regard, particularly in promoting the indigenous food system as a tool for promoting the well-being of our communities.
With climate change accelerating the global loss of biodiversity, the world increasingly looks towards indigenous peoples for inspiration. In Meghalaya, nature is held sacred. This traditional respect for biodiversity is exemplified by sacred groves. In these forests, the variety of nature can be appreciated but must remain undisturbed for all time. In these communities, land is passed down to the youngest daughter, but men and women play an equal part. Ancient seed varieties and the knowledge of their use are passed down by mothers to daughters as living seed banks. Agriculture treats the earth as sacred and depends on knowing how to sustain its fertility without chemicals. Nutrition and medicine utilize a deep knowledge of the many uses of local plants. All the world stands to benefit from this knowledge. At the same time, the pressures of the modern world threaten the old ways and the people who have preserved them. NESFAS offers an alternative way of progress that builds on and expands the traditions of sacred nature. NESFAS does that by always starting with listening to the communities.
The idea of NESFAS comes from a concept called Kalongwerpei, which is a Khasi word meaning a fireplace or a heart. In this forum, people come together to share their stories, engage in dialogue. Also, they share the concerns, problems, and solutions. When we started NESFAS, we started with the food festival, which was happening in Mauplang in 2010. During that festival, the women from Nong Trau community, they suggested that to give a special attention to millet, which is food. That's how NESFAS, we try to revitalize this local food, and then we map the agro biodiversity. We form millet networks, pollinators networks, and others.
kapor manusia imei iyu hikayanga banyalam na do dang krasnem banai selang kamo banti kai kini kijing rep krai bagi weki kijing tung disembai kibang itu hapa lengka kijing dan jangi hune perangi sngau ba don mau kai kaspa ba jangi ting hikai lu yakine kihun alayeng lu banyal banlei tong kamo ban pe yakiru kom bet na kiru kom teu iso sarang ba ngimpat pendo ja yakine sembai ba mai temen ning lah kai do mencuah.
It was decided that the first NESFA's activities would be building networks through festivals of taste and flavors and biodiversity walks.
In NESFAS, we take agroecology as the framework to revive, defend, and promote our indigenous food system. We started with the participatory mapping of the diversity that exists in a landscape, and together with the community, we identified species that are micronutrient rich, climate resilient, the neglected and underutilized species. We're working to strengthen our local seed system and promote a healthy soil.
Creating sustainable livelihood opportunities with focus on indigenous food system is an important chapter in the journey of NESFAS. NESFAS has always believed in empowering the local communities towards becoming self-reliant, taking ownership, and encouraging local economies for increased income and overall well-being. NESFAS, in collaboration with its communities, have co-developed various livelihood activities and opportunities which are very innovative and at the same time consumer, community, and environment friendly. NESFAS, to do this, has over the years developed a brand called Mera Mo, which translates into English as Mother Earth. Associated with this brand, some of the activities are Mera Mo cafes. These are cafes in the rural areas which serve local food with innovative recipes. Mera Mo Weaves, an initiative which promotes the local weaves of the weavers. Mera Mo Festivals and Farmers Market, which is a platform to connect the producers and the consumers. And the most recent of one being the Mera Mo Farm on Wheels. This was launched during this pandemic and it was very important because all the markets were closed.
The ability of the NESFAS communities to respond quickly to the 2020 COVID pandemic demonstrated how far they had come. But much remains to be done. The newest program of NESFAS is called No One Shall Be Left Behind.
In spite of the high agrobiodiversity, our region is still facing acute malnutrition. Through the consumption component, we have a nutritional campaigns where we are encouraging the communities to consume diverse local food. We have also developed the NESFAS Nutri app to help us monitor and ensure that our communities are meeting the minimum requirement of 5 food groups. Activities like the Wash campaign, the 1000 Days campaign, and cooking demonstration is helping us achieve a goal for a healthy today towards a secure tomorrow.
The secret to the success of NESFAS is that it moves forward by drawing on a deeper understanding of the ancient traditions that respect nature and ensure it is sustained. In nature, all life is interrelated. Like nature, NESFAS depends on relationships, partnerships, and collaborations for its success, and it grows organically. While the project hoped that 6,000 community members would be involved, there are now more than 10,000 community members across 130 villages.
Now do nang kong hi kibriu ki im da krep karyang ki im da ka than kriya thanchang hakini ki jaka ki jongi tinang takisa isa sukumen bansyang bansa hadu kini kismu kajingwan jong ka NESFAS patchani du kala nang penkemen namaleng ba jong ba pius uban ugwei nang ni nasional ti ulak pen itu ban kentiu pat pen ketik jingmut ya kasinong ti nong trei jong ki tuan pensyai bat kani kala nang pen ketik jingmut cucu yang i kinong nasional kau bakong sana kolong kau bakong NESFAS kahikai kolong bangin penne pensa ya kini ki jingbam tenrai ki jongi la kolong kadap karyang la kolong ki jur klau ni ki lom ki wa dan di kendau ke bangin penne hakini ki jaka ki jongi ke bangin tung
As humanity discovers the fatal consequences of its exploitation of nature in pollution, climate change, and the irreversible loss of biodiversity, it turns to indigenous peoples for inspiration, for aspiration. Indigenous groups of Northeast India are showing that ancient wisdom can also be the way of progress and prosperity.
Yeah, Dr. Shooting, I know, this is not within the program, but I really appreciate that what this NESPAS thing you have showcased here. And I request not only the NESPAS, the videos also, what has been used. Mr. Kongsi, Dr. Kongsi, I will request that please, get those videos. We want to put it on our, the SSTP website also, so that more number of people can get. And just give me just half a minute. I just want to link it up with this NESPAS, Miss Gracia, because I want to showcase this also as a part of our TechNeve at 75. And also next year, October, DST is organizing the India is organizing the UN World Geospatial Information Congress. In that way, the focus is on the, geo-enabling the global village, and the focus is on the, the indigenous people and the youth. So you're this, the community mapping, this exercise, if you really want to share with us, we want to include you in the part of the second UNWGIC, which will be in the October next, 2022.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, we would love to connect with you with this regards.
Yeah, because I think you told that you were doing the community level mapping, you were starting in that way. So that shows that the geospatial way of, empowering the community with their knowledge, which is most important.
Exactly.
Most important.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And really well, I appreciate your these initiatives.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gracia, for the wonderful talk. And we'll move on to our last speaker for the webinar today, which is Mr. H. Kerhome Pakenten. He is a local health practitioner and the head of the Pakenten Indigenous Herbal Medicine and Research Center at Jawai. Sir, I kindly give you the honor to share your presentation.
Good evening, everybody. First, I introduce myself. I am a Dr. H. Kerhome Pakenten from West Jintia Jawai. First of all, before read my speech, first I have to tell you about I'm a president of Meghalaya Indigenous Tribal Healer Association, and also a president of Jintia Indigenous Medicine Association. I attend many programs, like international program and national program. 2012, I present my paper to 4 universities. Once at the Madras University, and second one, Sri Ramachandra University. Third one that the Karkam University. Fourth one but that Karunia University. And then I present many conference. 2013, 19, I present the 4 people held assembly at Bangladesh. And then I present many times in the international program and Asian program also. But now, before I speak, that is because 2017 I got a blood clot in my brain. But at the time, sometimes my speaking is not good. And then my speaking also, some meaning is not clear. But don't worry about that because I'll try my best. But now, till now, I practice the healer practitioner 33 years till now. But but I want to treat the people the best because from the indigenous the herbs also I try my best. But this last 1 week I participate the program at Jamshedpur that is organized by Tata Steel Foundation. That starting from 15 to 19 this last 1 week. But now also I lost everything about that because this last 2 months and 3 weeks I lost very important because my wife also what I say my wife is displayed this 2 months and a half, but 2 months 2 months 3 weeks because my wife is prepare me everything to help me for to what I say what to prepare medicine to keep the patient. Now I start this my program my now for my documents. Tăng dừng này luôn, tăng dừng này.
bat ki babonjan ki ba uba ker ho jupunal kam hak basur breu bat hadin kanie setuliat bat kliat bat yaki lat kur ki jingdan kam ki kan bat hi ki bakam pengsan do punal kam ki kan thot ne kasnap dien jam dien stem
The sound is not audible. We can hear the sound.
yak jimpang bang pong bat ka tuberculosis negative daw klang yan teri na jusumar ke Jepang kishori bat swine flu daw sing na sa Jepang jurho bat sayo daw ginseng na sumar ke Jepang
So is the video audible?
yang sobat bat yang siya bat yoy dikikin bat
No, it is not audible. I think while playing itself, you have to select that the sound option because it's not audible.
Yeah, exactly. Just a minute. I think we'll replay the video.
Wan kampen na yik jumuk jingsem haka ba pembiang yikin bat lawai ba ker ho budang ru ka kper ka kerpal haka ba ututon yikin bat ke babonjai lagi log jingthong ki babanan kam yakislan kitien yikin jasing ne kisinteo jom ni jingthong Stanfian kon na kinja boy kini ta jamoy nanta kini kinja tun te ka benung kong na smart long dan ni wei I kenai ba bang halandan ni ba pang nang la he ka ni ba nanta na wa ni wa ni la wa na smart ni jemo pa ro ti ta lo ni ta ji pang na dai ni kini ni kamsa Tuan pun, pengai lah aja kita. Tadi nampak kita skill bagi ni pang kansa jemput deh. Tapi semua kita kijap no. Dan nak tu buat.
So we're having some technical issue. So please bear with us for 5 minutes. Share the presentation and share the video. Okay. Video gaya. Present the P. Udah jangan beda.
Ai kan pun kejuk ba menta hakaliang man sumari ki jingpang ba phero phe haba phait mat Syak rukam umen barim kata ada ka sumar tang di dawai kin bat kinong sumar khasiru kilanang kiu ha ka jong sumar ka jong ki bat dan ru na pedeng jong ki bala ban pen koi wat di ki weru ki jat jingpang ki ba dang syam sitam ban pen kya pura da ki dawai doktor
Age care home pakenten. Ubana do gsnam khat kandai spa prap kandai ule imsing hak ba shakri ki pat ba krilum jantia. Hak ban sumar ki brio da ka bakhem bat penan kam da ki dawai kan bat ban pun kot ya ki jingpang ki bahar kom. Hadu gisnam balalet ku ba care home. Ban kham shampang hak ni kam ule yolat ban isim banta hak ki babon ki lempung ai jingi kai ki balalong sabar ka jella. Kunjuru haki lempung ya kendo lang apdeng kinong sumar dawai kan bat na keleng kiri bat hak senam arhajar shpau ula pendap ru ya ka diploma course haka medicinal herbalism science na Indian Board of Alternative Medicines Kolkata
Dr. M pila wi chui kendo lo kan perkom sumar ji ki pang per haka perkom pinang ye ni pi pas ne piar patan na ye ni pi kan ni jing sumar jana long Mencuba di tahu ni, apa baikang impa itu limang semua ni, dan baikang apa baik apa dengan langit, kadang kuning, di kita besar dengan semua long ba air belai, kuning dengan semua itu, yang mana kita tahu tu, long tas ski, long kadang yo nang yo lebar ini semua tu, long kejistang tu long komtai.
Man la step uba care home rengkat kecingirap jong ikimi jong u ibai Helena pakenten ki jupun kuat berken show ki kenbat ki babonjat ki ba uba care home ujupanan kam hak basumar brio bat hadin kani seteliat bat klepat yaki kat kum ki jingdan kam ki kenbat hi ki bakam komsan bo punan kam ki kenthop ki snap dien jong dien stem hak ba ujusnai ki dawai bat sumar yak jimpang bangpong bat ka tuberculosis ne ka TB daw plang yan teri aju sumar ka jimpang kishori bat swine flu daw sing kmo la sumar ka jimpang jerho bat sahyau daw ginseng la sumar yak jimpang so jindong nyang sopet bat nyang dekyat bat kibai de kiken bat ki babunjat ban kampen duna yak jinglot jinsep haga bapen biang yak ikan bat dawai ba care home udan ru ka kper ka bakerpang haga ba jutong yak ikan bat ki babonjat lagi long jing thong ki bopenan kam ya kisla ki thiet ki kinjas ing ne ki sintieu jong ki jing thong
Nastang siya ng kong na kinikinja boy, to jamoy, nang tagini kinja tung. Te ka banungkong sumadlong don ni way I kanay ba pang harandang. Ni ba pang harandang long la he ka gin pang. Tang singa wa kita wa ngai lam kita wa pang la sumali. Jam lo. Tahu beri. Ti talo tai jing pang la dai ni kini kamsat. Kamsat tu. Ai la jeng ta. Tadi nang ta kidon skiwer ba kini pang kamsat jimbun dai. Na semua kita kijam lo. Dan nang tu bat kinang wan kijing pang giba kam ima. Ade nang tu ki wan chuan kini pang kikim thei giba tang shu kon pon sen gi yo jing pang ba kijing bun tengah semua ki kat tengah semua long ki jam dai tu. Te nak ki beli nang tikinang tipen mai ta semua nga.
Kawai ni kijing pang kabala banong ba kalong kijing pang kabakam he. Kadai kejimpang kot ya ibe hebret ya kejimpang na kebenta kerendang kabalaong ba kadai kejimpang bampong ini hebret ya ibala ai kerteng isatila shela ikon jingkong medes shela ilyo ekini kejimpang na do bidanggap laib na kerta wala kini kalong kumia kal sumar keleng kijaka hakanong ba shelo andai om sumala ban ikot ekini kejimpang newat ban kam pendunaru Hagabai ni hebret pedeng kejing penjut yang susah abad ekini kejing pang bat kutan hagabayam semula bat mir namar besok batar ekini kejing pang Andai hadian balawan nyulong sumar. Nasdang ya kejing sumar nado ubnai naiweng kesenam arhajang shipo. Bad hadian lai benai tam ulala ban punkot ini kelong. Bad kumba kalong mentah. Ini hebret ilakot syaga arsenam shteng garta. Bad ilalat na kejing sok jingthar bad suk jai na kene kejing pang.
Semua rumah.
Rumah wanita negeri dalam dere jenggot ambek aci irak na. Aran dere dere aci man ya evan thal me estal dari klima ita udu teman aci ya ularang khot leda man ya ai thai na ita kamu ma sen na sama dum sen de am e baro plai otang ilang chene otman am chale kam sen tama
Nandu kecil.
Aram dia dapat ani tu ni, tiap hari ni dah dam dia ada pelak dia ada umur orang influencer. Ani dah saya hari ni tak ada belajar, cuma ada belajar kali itu saya karena ada belajar.
Wala ki brio ki batip shapang jong niu nong sumar, kito chayom siang banwat yu niu rangba, banyo ya kejing sumar. Hendrai ke bakampan sting ya kejing mut jing perkhat, inong pang ne ki bahayang hasem jongki. Kalong bau ba kerhom ju odor. Hendrai kejing siu kalong kat kom ke mans ngobha jongki.
Ya mentai kinong simroa dengan juga tu. Amjok betul. Siang aga jing ai bulan jongki. Long tangi ngai ide. Ibu poni jing kibiri jing pang lagi di betul. Kat kom bawan sangat tolong kita. Ibu poni di betul tadi. Te kapta. Ini si belum hado baila. Kau ni betul. Apa ada jawab ni? Ingat. Tema itu dari kami itu. Nama baik bukan nilai cani krim. Itu mui dari kami. Kalau subuh tang ini jing itu pi naga ba ai tak berman tu saya tidak apa ban pendek ini kami sih. Kata saya kalau nak kami tiba belai ba un ai jing aku tu ingat. Nama ni ya biu bro. Ini bro ni besar. Kalau belai tu nampak kan. Teh jing aku. Saya ngasnui kata iga bana ki bring ki ai long mentang ke por hoi kedai ji ji kedai jam ni ba mentang ki por ngim ngam la ban tung tang po ka ke changai gitu ai ngai hap bat khet na ba ko ki ba bon hi gitu ai ki bam dan nga hap khet na ba ki song dot ni aja ka jam nei लगातार nga ba nga sikri ki bru dai skiri ob lai katai te nga kat ko mujing nga bre te ki
ba morning nong clear ubala sot do kanyang jingpang ha bentar ka kejat kediang jong u na palak arko snap kendrai de tat onda ule kendo yo ba kerho balala ban pun ko yo ne kanyang jingpang halor kene jing sakri jong ba kerho om tang ki pat ba ke bala perto kendrai wat ko we ni school ba ka jelaru ka Martin Luther Christian University kala itu inu long sumar bad ha ka convocation ke badang dep long shen ha ka arp kendai tarik nailar mentang snap kala pun ko buram yu bad pun ko ru itu kerdan doctorate ka jingdan unu long sumar kan bad ha kene ka thai kayarap shibo ni ki pat ba khamtam ki to ki bawan ni ki long yeng baduna ka yo ka kot kendrai ka wai pat ka babo ha ka jing sitom man sumar ka long babon pat ki breu ki bawan chu ki wan andala khamjor ka jing sitom kendrai la ki wan ha ka por ka babyang ban sumaru ka khamso bat kinong pang kinyo jingkot ha ka por ka babyang
Now I'll start my paper. Herbal medicine, the much needed remedy. All perceive them. Next. Abstract. Herbal medicine are jungle herbs that contain medicinal ingredients. Treatment methodology goes in line with the supernatural spirit synchronizing with traditional practice. Paper next introduction. Herbal medicine, a warrior survival. Natural blessings embrace human from the simple food that eat to the house where they live and held them in time of pain and suffering caused by illness. Prolonged research and research is required for one of the to know about the herbal medicine and their effects on human system. Special attention like touching, smelling, and tasting the fruit, flower, shrub, root, and herbs of various plants. The safe preparation in the deep forest is needed to know their medicinal value and their effects on various illness and disease. Carcinoma, cancer, serious neoplastic disease result by abnormal, uncontrolled growth of the cell, exhibit the properties of invasion and metastasis and proof and aplastic. Literally, sarcoma and carcinoma are the two broad categories that refer cancer both mostly the former conscious epithelial carcinoma of the use. The term in cancer emia, presence of cancer cell in the blood. Cancer Indigenous, give rise of malignant tumor. Cancer phobia, irrational fear of cancer. Country form, resemble of cancer. Cancer, several effects of the psychology of the person, thereby bring down his immune system drastically. Cancer cell eat up the internal organ and affects the external part wherever the cell is growing. Lacking of strong will and ability to face reality often make a person vulnerable to disease chronically as the mentally of the person is poisoned by. Next. Cancer type. Breast cancer. Cancer of the breast mammary glands. Leukemia. Cancer of the blood. Cervical cancer. Cancer of the uterus. Bone cancer. Cancer of the bones. Throat cancer. Cancer of the throat. Skin cancer. Cancer of the dermis and epidermis. Lung cancer. Cancer of the lungs. Breast cancer. This before and after. The treatment took place for 1 week using only herbal remedies. Medications include both external application and oral medication. Herbs used during the treatment including laliang, a tuber of Tinea viscosa, scientific name. Use of tobacco or betel leaves as cover up. Next. Bone cancer, before and after. Complete treatment took place for 1 week. Use herbal remedies with course of medication of 3 months. Treatment including massage using herbal oil and oral medication. Remedy depend only on amla juice and mix of ginger paste and mustard oil. Next cancer, before and after. Complete treatment took place for 3 months using both external paste and oral medication. Treatment include an external paste of Tinea viscosa, laliang, local name in laliang, and a cover of paste of tobacco or betel leaf. Oral tonics including amla juice, Stephania hernandifolia, jabung, mixed with black pepper, lengam, and this them unknown scientific name, and turmeric kurkuma langa. Next. Skin cancer, before and after. Complete treatment took place for 3 months. Medications including both external application and oral tonics. A paste of warm oil, honey, garlic, and eucalyptus, and roebuck acts as an external ointment. Oral tonics including amla juice, Stephania hernandifolia, local name is called jabung, mixed with black pepper, lengam, and this stem, the unknown scientific name, and turmeric, kurkuma langa. Tumors, before and after. Complete treatment took place for 3 days with continuous medication of 3 weeks. The medications include both external and oral medication. C. A paste of honey and lime constitute the first phase, and the second phase including the cover phase of Tinea viscosa, laliang, the technol, with other covering the tobacco and betel leaf, and leave it dry for 3 consecutive days. Afterward, if the swelling does not rupture within the stipulated time, same phase in again repeat. To avoid septic nest, a paste of warm coconut oil, grinded turmeric, garlic, and amla balls is applied in the affected area, occasional mixed with the aloe vera. F. Oral alternates, including amla juice, Stevia hernidifolia, jabong mixed with black pepper, pipalangam, and this stem, unknown scientific name, and turmeric, curcuma langa. Explanation based on finding an expedient. Sorghum tumor originated in bones, muscle, cartilage, fibrous tissue of fat. Evans and Kaposi sarcoma are the common type. Carcinoma, the malignant of epithelial origin. About 80% of all cancer cases are carcinoma and attack organs like nose, colon, larynx, breast, prostate, urinary bladder, body, leukemia, cancer of the blood or blood-forming organ. When it occurs, the body produces large numbers of abnormal WBC. Lymphoma. It affects the lymphatic system, a network of vessels and nodes that act as a body filter. The lymphatic system of this structure nutrients of the blood and tissue and prevents the entry of foreign invaders into blood stream. Over 20 types of lymphoma are known where Hopkins disease is one type of all the other lymphoma and grow as an Hopkins lymphoma. Male-dominated disease, cause of human papilloma virus (HPV), which colonises around the area of the neck and head portion. On closer examination, HPV usually attack patients with age group of 15 to 20 years old and sometimes even baby too. Scholar of lead by Dr. Gillison in Journals of American Medical Association (JAMA) have made their research work on the medicines that help against HPV infection and prove some amount of relief. Unfortunately, there is no permanent cure till date. The Health Information Managers of the Cancer Research UK, Jessica Harris, said that HPV is a virus that affects mouth and pass to other vital parts of the body, yet cannot prove that real cause of the disease. On my part, as a president of the Jaintia Indigenous Medicine Association, JIMA, Meghalaya, India, have success in treatment of patients suffering from HPV infection, and the same may be proved through experience I have undergone with my patient. Skin cancer, most common form of cancer, often develop on the exposed area of the skin to the sun. Generally develop in the epidermis outer part of the skin, thereby exposing a clearly visible tumor and make it detectable in the early stage. Sure, discoloration and irritating change in the skin that do not usually help. Also usually develop in the area affected the skin. Existing mole usually change. Melanoma usually change in color and shape of the growth. The type of skin cancer, squamous cell carcinoma,
muscle cell carcinoma, melanoma. Squamous cell carcinoma, slow growing and highly treatable. Characteristics by red scaling, thickened part of sun exposed area. The ulceration and bleeding develop later if untreated. Large must might result. Muscle cell carcinoma, slow growing and high treatment. Characteristics by the smoke barely bomb on the sun-exposed area of the head, neck, shoulder, arm, etc. Small blood vessel is visible in the tumor. Bleeding in the center of the tumor mistaken for a sore that do not heal develop frequently. Melanoma, characteristics by brown to black looking lesions. Change in size, shape, color, or elevation of mole. New mole develop in adult with sign of itching, ulceration, or bleeding that require medical attention. Skin cancer usually depend on site, type, deep, and location of the lesion. Medications usually include both external application and oral technique. As in the case of skin cancer in slide number 14, a paste of worm oil, honey, garlic, eucalyptus, and raw wax acts as an external ointment. Oral techniques and including amla juice, Stephania harnidifolia, in local name we call jabung, mixed with black pepper, piper langam, and this stem, unknown scientific name, and turmeric, curcuma langa, and Stephania, and Pentos Walachi, the least name, local name. Skin cancer, latest achievement, before and after. Skin cancer, latest achievement, before and after. Lung cancer, caused by division and multiplication of malignant cells that take over the function of normal cell. Ample space of the lungs provided a better multiplication rate for the malignant cell as a patient unaware of it. No sign and symptom detected in the early phase except persistent chronic cause of male fever. It usually attacks male members, especially chain smoker, and some case in a person who neither smoke or not drink. Initial stage is characterized by uneasiness, discomfort, and the nasal passage, block and temperate the respiratory tract that result is weak immune system. Usually, patient develop mouth bleeding. Some exotic plants, species with genius medicinal value. This jabung, we call in local name jabung. Vertical name is the Stepnia henandifolia. Selain local name that Singlai, Curcuma cosamunan. Selain that the local name Selain, the vertical name is Stepnia walichi. Laliang, the local name that the vertical name is Tania viridifula fusa. Sincermit, Curcuma langa, the Singlai, Curcuma casrumanan. Next. Ratablom we call the local name, but the vertical name we call Kempferia galanga. Sinli, the Prunium capatitum. Conclusion. In my 33 long years of experience with herbal medicine, my long cherished dream of extending my heartful support to all class of people is translated into reality. No wonder herbal medicines prove to be the much needed remedy for all, as perceive them. Thank you. In my local, we call Chiejan. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Dr. Pakenten, for the talk, and your 33 years of knowledge in the field has immensely benefited the general community as well as the scientific community as a whole. So just to highlight here, I would like to tell everyone in the panel today that that Dr. Pakenten has not only followed the indigenous method of healing, but he is also working in close coordination with researchers from the Northeastern Hill University, University of Madras, AIMS, and as well as other research institutes. Dr. Pakenten has several scientific publications in his name that are published in well-renowned journal. So as to mention a few, all the traditional herbs that has been used by Dr. Pakenten has been analyzed for phytochemical analysis, for anti-diabetic, anti-cancer, and anti-tuberculosis. And studies has also been done on molecular docking. And additionally, recently, I think they have found out a novel anti-cancer compound, which was discovered from one of the identified phytoconstituents of jabung, which is one of the main herbs that has been used by Dr. Pakenten in the treatment of cancer. So I think Dr. Pakenten, he's the only traditional healer in the state of Meghalaya who is willing to share his knowledge to the general public, because as such we see that most traditional healers are skeptic in sharing these kind of information, because they think that these knowledge will be stolen from them. And I'm very grateful to Dr. Pakenten for his willingness to share his knowledge not only to the general community but to the scientific community, as these will identify best treatment through these traditional medicines in treating different kinds of diseases. So once again, I thank Dr. Pakenten for his wonderful talk. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. So before I end, I think Dr. Pakenten would like to share a few more pictures regarding his work.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pakenten. So these are some of the pictures that he has shown regarding
because my speaking is not clear because due for I got a blood clot in my brain.
Okay, no issue, sir. No issue on that, sir. We could understand it quite nicely and clearly. Thank you very much, sir. And so we finally came to the end of the today online session or online webinar on the December theme of Indigenous technology. But before we sign out, I would like to request Ms. Viva L. Lindo, who is the Assistant Project Coordinator, State Council, Science, Technology and Environment, Meghalaya, to kindly give the word of thanks. Ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Comstein, and good afternoon, everyone. At the very outset, on behalf of the State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, Meghalaya, I express my sincere thanks to Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, for the opportunity to SCSTE Meghalaya to host this national program on the celebration of VigyanUtsav, where it has opened a platform for us to share and exchange views, suggestions, and ideas with regard to indigenous practices and system. And a special thank for this, it goes to Dr. Debapriya Dutta, Scientist G and Head Scientist for Equity Empowerment Division, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Also, I express my thanks to Shri CVD Dindor IAS, Secretary to the Government of Meghalaya Planning Department, and also Member Secretary, State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, Meghalaya. My thanks also go to Dr. Joram Beda, IAS, Secretary to the Government of Meghalaya Planning Department, for his address and his enlightenment about today's session. My thanks also go to all those who had given their presentations on the different specializations, which I'm going to name here one by one. Dr. Vipin Kumar, Chief Innovation Officer, National Innovation Foundation, India. Dr. Abhinav Kant, Project Coordinator, Northeast Center for Technology and Reach. Dr. Pinchngan Marwen, Assistant Research Officer, Tribal Research Institute, Meghalaya. Ms. Grisha Idkar, Lead Associate, Northeast Slow Food and Agrobiodiversity Society, NESFAS, Shillong. Dr. H.C. Pakenteng, Local Health Practitioner, Jawai. Ms. Lashipro Kashina, Project Associate, National Innovation Foundation, Guwahati. Shri A.S. Suting, Officer on Special Duty, State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, Meghalaya. Thank you for all your sincere efforts and your expertise which you had delivered in today's session. And my thanks also go to all the member secretaries, officers and representatives from all the S&T councils, institutes and organizations for your participation. And lastly, I would like also to express my thanks to Shri CPCM Program Officer, State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, Meghalaya, Dr. S. Coxty, for his coordination effort to make this program a success. And he's also the project coordinator of SCST Meghalaya. Shri Biling Khoi, project coordinator, State Council of Science, Technology and Environment, Meghalaya, and to all those who had rendered their assistance to make today's program a success. So with these few words, once again, thank you all.
Thank you very much, Ms. Viva Lindo, for that word of thanks. And thank you, because most of the time, the person who gives the words of thanks is left out from the word of thanks itself. So thank you very much, ma'am. So we finally come to the end of today's session of the VigyanUtsav celebration. And I take this opportunity to humbly thank the Department of Science and Technology, especially Dr. Debapriya Datta and Dr. Rashmi Sharma, for their effort in organizing this event and making this year-long program to be a grand success. And I hope that in the months to come, we will try to improve in presenting ourselves and representing the council. Thank you very much, all, and hope to see you once again in the next month theme of VigyanUtsav. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Steve.